All right, Ben Manning, today is Monday. It is December 5th. Welcome to the Dog Walk presented by Barstool Sports. It is Snake Draft Monday presented by Miller Lite. Welcome to the show. Captain Cons is the guest today. Welcome, Cons.
Hey, Ed, Chicago crew, fellas, thank you so much for having me. My first appearance since my last appearance, that makes sense, when I took the W.
What was that, wedding?
Draft?
The wedding draft.
I feel like that was
Back in
so
the fall.
long ago.
I think that might have been in the old office, right? No?
That
It
was
here?
like,
Okay.
yeah, that was in the office, and that was actually not this past fall, it was last fall. That was the last time I was on a draft.
There's a reason for that.
Does that
Yeah,
bother you?
well, no, it doesn't bother me.
Oh,
Because
it clearly
then-
does.
I don't think you would have brought it up if you weren't at least
Yeah.
a little bit bothered.
No, it doesn't bother me because then it just makes it all the more special when I get the chance to come back. I'm so grateful. And I get my dog walk draft fix by listening each and every week and screaming internally at all the things that Dave says that make absolutely no sense.
Because, all right, a little backstory here before we hit the record button. Connor was talking about how Chaps and I reek
Are
of
we recording?
insecurities
We're
Oh,
recording.
yeah.
because we like to rip on Captain Cons. And I am not insecure in any way. There's insecurities here and there, but that's natural with everybody. I say what's on my mind. That's the opposite of being insecure. You're the insecure one because you just go where you're a tumbleweed.
Is he
That's
to the
exactly
wind kinda guy?
He figures out where the wind's blowing, and then as soon as he figures out, like, oh my
David.
god, I can't believe Dave drafted this. That's when you pile on.
I was
No,
just
Dave,
I'm not
you
saying
are-
you do that, but I was just giving an example.
Dave, you are a thermometer and I'm a thermostat. I set the temperature. Okay, champ? When I come into the room, you just take the temperature and you just fight in your little corner when you get backed into your garbage cans, you little raccoon boy. And
another example.
You can't handle. The reason I haven't been on in a year is because, like, I come in the room and look at your face right now. Look at your eyes. You're in a blender, Dave. A complete blender.
You're
You don't know
talking
which end
like
is up.
you're Ryan Whitney. Like, I can't say much to Whitney because he is better than me at literally everything. You are
And
just
how
a
is that any
doofus.
different from me? How's that any
You're a
different than me?
doofus. You're a nobody. You're the third string quarterback. Tom, tell him
First of
about the
all-
third string quarterback. Where's Rico at?
Tom's not
First
sitting
of
there.
all,
And why would
first
Tom
string
know anything
holder,
about that?
by the way.
Attaboy.
That's
Yep.
true.
Attaboy.
Starter.
Did you spin
Starter.
it? Did you spin
Hey,
it?
teammates with Mike Hastings.
Laces out.
That's right. State Senator Mike Hastings.
Hey, you
friend
know
of
what?
mine.
Shout out to Captain Cons, even though he hasn't done it yet. This episode will be released on Monday. This Friday, Cons is hosting my dad and myself in Philadelphia with a group of Army officers for dinner on Friday and has field passes for us Saturday. Taking my dad for his 70th birthday to the Army-Navy game, and Cons is hosting. So, Cons, thank you very much. Any shit talk any of these fucking idiots want to give you, they got to go through my old man first.
No,
I wasn't
it's okay.
a part of that.
I let Dave
so-
just go. It's like, it's like just like a little gnat flying around your head. It's a little nuisance, but overall, it's
you're
not gonna ruin your
describing
day.
yourself. You're describing yourself. Anytime one of these drafts come out, Cons is there. He's just buzzing around like a fly over shit.
Cons, I appreciate you leading engagement on the internet
Thank you.
for our show.
Thank you.
It's a
We're all part of the
promotion.
same
Appreciate
team.
you for leading our.
It's not a
leading our
bad thing,
troops in
but you're
battle,
describing
Captain.
yourself.
No, I'm not, Dave. I'm not in any way describing myself. And what you're doing right now is nothing short of embarrassing yourself.
Cons, I enjoy having you back.
Thanks, Ed. It was
Ed.
good to be back.
Yes.
And a boy,
Ready
a
to
great
go.
transition,
Yes,
Ed.
it's great to have you. I like the rivalry you and Dave have.
It's not a rivalry.
I know Dave always says it's not, but every time you guys
It's
are in each
not
other's
because I'm
presence.
just dominant over him. So it's not much of a rivalry, but I do appreciate all of you.
You
Yes.
have never dominated anyone or anything.
I thought the wedding draft was very strong. I think today's draft is going to be strong as well. Today we are drafting a music festival. This is in honor of the Spotify stories that you're seeing everywhere, the tweets.
Yeah.
I will keep wanting to call it Spotify Unwrapped because of the show with Mark Summers.
Is it not that?
No, that's what it is.
Spotify
Oh,
Wrapped.
I keep
Wrapped.
calling it
Unwrapped,
Unwrapped.
the candy
yeah.
show. I
Okay.
like
Yeah.
candy. Shout out Clem, the snack god with me. He's Team ZD. Tough loss in the dozen Boston tournament. So this is in honor of that. There will be 5 subcategories here.
I have felt very left out by the Spotify
Wait,
thing.
hold on, because you're Apple Music. I think they did some too, right?
Okay, but
did,
I
yeah.
also have like this thing. It's called. It helps me fall asleep if I'm having trouble, and I just play it all night long. It's called Sonic Yogi. So like, and it's just like fucking.
Oh, and that's yours?
And it's like 7 of my top 10. It's like
tough, yeah.
Zach Bryan, and then like the Sonic Yogi. I'm like, I don't.
Is
wanna
that
put
like
out
sleep
there.
music?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love falling asleep. Just as a really quick tangent, I'll put on Rainforest Noise. It's 24-hour loop.
It's
on
basically
YouTube.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. I could fall asleep right
Yeah,
now.
you post the Apple one. That's like my dad. He bought me a Dell Pocket DJ instead of an iPod back in the day.
Oh,
I have,
You didn't bring that to school, did you?
It wasn't many days, Dave.
begrudgingly?
Not many days.
I
Just 'cause you don't
have
wanna offend your dad.
I have figured out my Spotify password situation though, so I do have. Now I have both, but
okay,
it's just
good.
a little. late
I'm
in the game.
Spotify. Are you Spotify cons?
Yeah,
So you guys getting along? You guys
I'm
getting
asking
along?
a question. I'll that has a second question attached to it. What was your top listen?
Well, let's not tip.
Well, I don't
tip
want to get
picks.
into that because that's going to
yeah.
take away.
Chief
fine.
already tipped one. We're gonna let it go.
Yeah, I was hoping
yeah.
no one noticed.
And I'm
that,
gonna tip
actually.
something right here
Oh,
too.
I heard it.
I'm going to tip something right here, too, because we kind of have to clarify something because it was a debate before we went on to the show. Because here are the subcategories. It is you will have one pop star. You will get one rap/hip-hop, one rock, one country, and then you will get one venue. So it's brought up, the venue. Should it be a soul-standing place or should it be a festival?
I think it should be a venue.
It was brought up, you can take the place where the festival takes place, if that makes sense. There was a lot of places with what I just said. So, should I just use our example since it
Sure.
takes place
Yeah,
in the
that's
city we are in?
I think
You're not
you
tipping
define
a
the
pick,
category
everybody
as
knows.
venue, and then you try to clarify that it's not festival. Like, I don't think anybody would hear venue and then think festival until you just did that.
All right. So you get what I'm saying then? Are we covered?
Yeah, I think so.
I do have a question. I have a question. Of all the genres, why did we pick pop? No one listens. None of the five guys here is like, ooh, I like this pop.
Are you
see,
crazy?
That's, no.
Really?
No. Oh,
Oh,
definitely.
yeah. Pop star.
I mean,
I think, well, this should be
there's like a
interesting.
bunch of artists that like would be killer in festivals that like don't.
There's
Like,
the
I don't know
top
where I-
echelon.
like,
There's only
pop?
going to be 5 draft picks. Everybody, I mean, they supersede musical taste, I think.
That said, pop does make this more competitive. So kudos to you, Ed. So it is a good category. I just don't think that like we're not gonna if we get the stories where it's like pop, like ooh.
Well, like,
I
what
love
did
this
you listen
concert.
to in high school? Like everybody, like you're on MTV.
I know, but aren't we throwing a festival right now? I'm 35. I'm not fucking 16 running around. trying to put
I
fingers
took
in
this
stuff.
as Alive or Dead.
Ooh, that's
I'll
a good
take-
question.
I'll say that.
I have a question.
I thought it was like right now.
Oh, this
I'm
is right
throwing a
now.
festival.
Yeah.
This is
Like
alive.
right now. I
what
got
the
a
fuck?
This is
festival.
alive.
That changes
This is right
literally
now.
everything for me.
You're putting ass in
Yeah.
the
no,
seats.
no, no, no,
Oh,
no, no,
you
no,
can't
no,
be
no.
fucking bringing in the Who.
Yeah, what are you talking
Well, I'm
about
not
here?
bringing in the Who, but like,
Oh, okay, Karen.
I would love to bring in Freddie Mercury.
No, like
But
you're not
he
going
Why don't you-
died 40 fucking years ago.
but what
AIDS.
if they like
Or
they might not
HIV.
be topping the
No,
charts
so
now,
I
but
have
they
a
might
question.
still tour.
Queen
Well,
does
I have
still
a
tour.
question.
Adam Lambert's.
You're getting present queen then. You're not.
You
like,
need to specify this sort
well,
of
ask
stuff.
then. Fucking
I'm
ask.
asking.
I
We're
doing it
can't-
right now.
I can't fuck. All right, you're asking. I'm saying no. It's present. The
Yeah,
Prince
okay,
man.
Should've
You're
brought
not getting
this
the
up.
Minnesota.
I'm
man.
not
Should've
taking
waited
anybody
till
dead.
The third round.
All right.
But if
Should've
they're-
waited
if they
till Dave
tour-
drafted
Oh, yeah, if they
fucking
tour.
Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I listened to them when I was 16 and they tour, like Carl's saying, it's right that they have to be like top in the charts now.
Right? No,
Oh,
I
no.
didn't say they have to be top of the charts. They just have to be like alive.
I could see
He said
them if
top
I
of the
wanted
charts.
to. Okay, all right. all right.
Please, let me just clarify one thing. What if an artist, very much alive, very much still with it, but just doesn't tour anymore?
Yeah. That's fine. That's
Why
fine.
is that
Okay.
fine? If they're not touring, they're not touring. You can't build
Because
a festival
you
out.
fucking backed up the Brinks truck. Williams LLC paid the money
Okay,
to
I
get
like
this
that.
person to go, Dave.
I like that too.
That helps.
All right.
That helps.
I got to
Fuck.
change my entire list.
Pop?
Just fucking snake draft 153 or something like that. Can't get through semantics.
Semantics.
Sounds like
semantics is what
kinda
makes this
dictatorial.
draft go round.
I know. It truly does. It's
I mean,
actually like
hey,
I feel,
don't start getting too mad over
I
there.
feel
Hold
like
on,
we had,
hold on, hold
honestly,
on.
Fucking
honestly,
point
I
is-
haven't really gotten a little worked up in a while on these drafts. It felt good to be alive again, boys.
Be alive, Ed,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Let's have a
read.
great
that
draft.
energy.
Let's have a great draft.
Yeah,
Let's have a great draft.
we can't get into semantics. Oh, is gravy aside? Like, that's
Hey,
like,
gee,
that
don't-
is his draft.
I got And you know what? I'll say each Thanksgiving, I lose a little bit more of the following when I put the poll out. Now this year I put the poll out. It was like 85%, 15%, 85 not a side. When we originally started, it was like 75-25. So I'm losing steam as I go, but the guys that are still with me, I appreciate you very much. And as I said, let's have a great draft.
They're there.
Sorry, one last tangent. This is just great timing. I just finished my second rewatch of The Bear, and certainly there are a lot of characters in that show that remind me of you guys, and it's just great to be with you because I really like that show. I like those characters.
Thank you.
Is that the Italian beef show?
Not a sponsor. Don't
I haven't
fucking
watched it.
listen to that.
I watched it.
Don't
It was
watch that
good.
show if you
I've
haven't
heard
watched it
it's
before
actually
just because Con said it. That's not a sponsor.
TasteRuleChicago.com is a sponsor. Go buy a beef kit.
Love you, Jim. Fucking love you.
Love Jim. Love Jim.
All right. Yeah. So if you're taking the band that has Freddie Mercury, you don't get Freddie Mercury with that band. All right.
You should have specified this.
Well,
You should have asked.
What was
You
that
texted it
accent?
to us when I was
Compilation.
driving to the office.
We're doing it now. Well, fuck it. We'll do it live. We're doing it live. Okay.
Motherfucker,
Jesus.
Dave.
White Sox
I
Dave's
think
picking
we
fifth.
should
White
have
Sox
a
Dave
vote
picks
to
fifth.
this.
Dave
White Sox
fucking
Dave
wins.
picks
I
fifth.
want
How
no
about
dead
that?
people. You
I
have to
want
be
dead people.
Well, then we can't. You can
No.
take like a hologram of them.
No.
No.
Dave goes fifth.
No. All right. Congrats to Chief for winning the drafts we did last
Thank you.
week.
I was right about
Soccer.
offsides.
All right. Before we get into, actually, let's do the list. Actually, here we go. Harry has 1 through 5 behind his back. What number is it?
3.
3.
No.
Carl.
2.
No.
Chief.
4.
No.
Dave.
1.
No.
5.
Yes.
I'd never win the coin tosses when I get them.
I'm gonna
That's a
take the
50-50
I'm gonna take
chance.
the number 2 slot, Harry.
Interesting.
Well, that's peculiar.
1 through 4 cons.
3.
Yes.
Nice. I want first pick, please.
All right, 1 through 3. Carl.
1.
No.
Chief.
2.
Yes.
I'll take 3.
1 or 2. White Sox Dave.
2.
Yes.
I'll take 5.
All right. The order is Captain Cons, Eddie, Chief, Carl, White Sox Dave. Before we get into it, we do want to talk about our friends at Miller Lite. 'Tis the season to get together with good friends and great drinks. That means 'tis Miller time. Since 1975, Miller Lite has been the beer with taste you can depend on. No games, no gimmicks, just great beer. Not only is Miller Lite a great tasting light beer, it's also a great gift for the beer lovers in your life. And even more gift ideas for perfect beer lovers, visit the Miller Lite shop site at shop.millerlite.com. They got great merch. Great merch.
They do have
Miller
great
Lite.
Elite.
merch.
Elite.
Their new holiday collection features everything from cozy beer-inspired holiday sweaters to drinkable ornaments for your tree. This holiday, 'tis Miller time, so enjoy Miller time with friends and family. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/redline to find the delivery options near you. So you can give the gift of Miller time this holiday season, or you can pick it up pretty much anywhere that they sell beer. 'Tis Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. Hope you're enjoying the draft, and make sure you enjoy your Miller Lite this season. All right, Captain Cons, let's lead us off here.
All right. I think you're all sitting there and you have thoughts in your head, and I'm not going to do what you all think I'm going to do. I'm going to go a different direction because I do not believe that I'm very deep in this category. There's 2 categories that I'm not deep in at all. So I think I got to go pop first. And this isn't a pander either because she's my second most listened artist. I don't think you can go a second these days without hearing Taylor Swift. Regardless of wow, Carl just absolutely quit. That's fine. And you're all like, you're just following the crowd. No, if you take a step back and you look at what she is capable of with her songwriting capabilities, now her whole personal life is a complete disaster. We're not getting into that.
Kind of rude.
But
Why
I
do you
don't
say
think you
that?
can deny whether you like her or not, whether you hate everybody who, rides for her so hard. You cannot deny the woman's talent. And that's why I think she's top of the pop charts. So I'm taking Taylor Swift first choice.
Right there is where we need the Swifties to listen to the draft and not see the graphic. Because you called her personal life a disaster, you will lose the vote on that.
I will be preemptively contacting Kelly Keegs to let everybody
Wow.
know
All her little,
that
Stan Army.
right.
I'm gonna see Kelly Keegs in a couple hours. I'll tell her myself, and
Okay.
I think she'll agree. I think true Swifties will agree that her personal life has not been the easiest, but I think that's what makes her so relatable because nobody's personal life is perfect. Dave will probably tell you that he thinks his is. It's not. Everybody's personal life is kind of a disaster.
I think you could have taken Taylor Swift without taking a shot at her. Could have just been
I
like
wasn't
her
taking a shot. I was just
personal life's a
look at what it's
disaster. I
produced.
don't know.
I wouldn't say it's a disaster. I'd say it's actually going pretty smooth. Professionally, have been some.
Professionally, absolutely, but her personal life, she writes all about it. Like
Mm-hmm.
you don't have all of that angst and all of those lyrics if things didn't happen to you along the way.
Or she knows what puts asses in seats, so she keeps doing it.
No, Dave. Don't
Oh,
try
yeah.
to outthink
Did
the
she
room
tell you
'cause
that?
You can't do it.
She
Don't
told you
try to
that?
outthink the room because you can't do that. Carl, I need to know why you got up and left.
I don't have anything that's like. It's just such a draft's over. Like, what, you want me to take another? Like, there's another band you could take, I guess, but
You missed it,
throw
Carl.
no, I didn't.
He shit
did.
on her personal life.
Oh
So,
well.
so if the
I
Swifties,
shit
No,
on
but
it.
my point is, it's like we don't take Michael Jordan in basketball drafts. Like, you throw Taylor, you know how people are going to react about Taylor Swift.
I'll be honest. I
Is
just
Taylor
don't
Swift
listen.
pop or
Carl,
is
to
she
your
full?
point,
Should we veto?
she's pop.
No, she's
No.
And that's the other thing. There's going to be
I
bands
do
that
want
are
to say
like,
something nice about Taylor Swift. I want to say something nice about her though, real quick. Like, she is supposed to be legendary for like rubbing it in people's faces. And there's no way that Barstool Chicago 2.0 can sit here and do a podcast and not respect the fuck out of somebody like that. Like, there's stories about her inviting people to the Grammys that talked shit to her when she was in high school. And she just like anybody who's like ever talked shit about her, she's like, I'll remember you. She
I
keeps
like
a
that.
list, Dave. She's fucking
Arya
list
Stark.
girl.
I like that.
Oh.
That's
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 like
like-
Jordan
but
Baker
I don't-
Mayfield shit.
I don't passionately consume Taylor Swift. I don't have bad things to say about Taylor Swift. So I would like to remove myself now at this point because the people who love her will fucking cut the throat of anybody who doesn't.
Yeah.
like
Also,
Kelly
Carl, to
Keegan.
your
She's
point-
a lunatic.
Yeah, you know what? Hand up. I don't listen to a lot of pop music. Beyond that, I really don't listen to any pop music. So I didn't really have many choices here.
Yep.
So I had to
I like
take
Taylor.
I love
Cons,
Taylor Swift.
I think it's a great pick, man.
Yeah.
You say what you want about Taylor Swift. She is an incredible catalog. If tickets weren't insane, if someone invited me to a Taylor Swift concert, I'd go in a heartbeat, and I would know a
fuck
lot
yeah.
of the songs.
I just-
I
listen,
would just not want to
verbatim.
deal with the hassle of waiting for the tickets.
There are other all-time artists who have complimented Taylor Swift and spoken to her talent and her ability. I don't think songwriting ability like hers comes along. They're not a dime a dozen. I think she's a once in a generation type talent in that regard.
She's great, dude. She's great. All right. It's to me. I'm surprised, though. My last comment on this before I'll pick. I'm surprised you were thin on pop. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah.
I know there's other pop artists out there. There's
Yeah.
actually a litany of pop artists that are very popular,
Yeah.
hence pop. I just don't listen to any of them, so I didn't feel comfortable really picking any.
All right,
Yeah.
because I'm going to go with a list where I'm thin on a couple of them. I'm going to go with one I'm thin on and one that and here there's some strategy behind this pick too. I'm going to go with one who's my personal favorite from when I was a kid, and the strategy behind this as well is because he doesn't tour much anymore. So this is with the thought of Williams and Williams Brinks truck, LLC backing it up. And I might get shit for this pick, and I'm ready for it. And I'm taking Eminem.
Why? That's not a bad pick at all. It's a
Man,
great
you sound-
it's a
you
horrible
sounded
pick
lot
'cause he
like
could have
me
got
making
that
pick
with
and
the
you just ended
100th
up dropping
overall
a whopper.
I only no.
100th overall pick?
Great.
Someone put this guy in his place. What?
No, he's I don't have an extensive big board built out, but I jotted a few things down. For my rap category, Eminem was like in my top 2.
Dave, if Eminem,
Legend.
Yes.
do you know
Legend.
how much he plays anymore? If he announced a
never.
tour tomorrow, he would sell out like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
I take it back. I
All
was
right,
wrong.
all right, that's good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I do think you
I
could
mean,
have got
if
him
you
absolutely
wanna-
later than second, though.
Just Google clips of like famous rappers that are like known for beefs talking about why they'll never beef with Eminem. Like, he's supposed to be untouchable in that scene. Obviously, I don't know shit about it, but hopefully somebody listening does and can color us in the DMs or something. But like, just the idea of like going at Eminem is supposed to be the dumbest thing you can do because he's supposed to just be in like relentless savage with takedowns. And
Yeah,
then
we
that,
all
like,
saw
kills
what he
your
did to
career.
Papa Doc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Not
it's,
to mention, he came up when we were
With
in high
us.
school, like
Yeah.
middle school, high school. So he
Middle
was
school.
massive for all of us. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and it's a little selfish too. Like I've never seen him, and I think the only way I'm going to see him is if I book him at my festival.
Yep.
Now, do you
Yeah.
think that is he good live, or what are rappers like live?
A
Or
lot
how
of
is
them
it-
are, from what I have learned over the last couple of years doing the music show, is a lot of them use backing tracks. So, and they're reliant on that. So when you see them live, it's like nothing like what you see hear on through headphones. It's like they rely on so much beyond their ability to rap or sing. So it's like a much different experience. But
I'm looking at this
mean-
right now. If this is
Hold
correct,
on,
the
name of the
last
show,
time
Dave. Name of the show. Sorry, Ed. Name of the show.
what?
White Sox, you were just talking about your podcast. You should pump it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking to Ed. On the guest list, go download, rate, subscribe. Thank you.
I'm reading this right now. The last time he toured was 2013 in the U.S.
Wow.
Yes.
See, but I think part of that is that he was so successful and so huge that he said, you know what, I don't need to do this anymore. And I think that's part of the reason some people stop touring is they just don't, have that energy anymore. And they were so successful and made so much money, they don't have to.
Yeah.
Well, it's
for
such
sure.
a fucking grind.
He does
Yeah.
like the big. I know he did Lala a couple years ago. I guess he does like one offs and he does some stuff like in Europe and he like Coachella. But like it's hard. Like I'm telling you, there was some strategy. Like if I'm building a billing here, like I think this is a good pick
gonna
if
sell
people
it
look
up.
into this.
Yeah.
Okay, so I like Eminem there, and he's another guy. That's a fucking monster catalog. Like this is a guy much like Taylor Swift. Like if we're doing drafts, we could have a 25 song draft with Eminem.
You absolutely could.
For sure.
The
And
Marshall
I think
Mathers
we will
LP.
do. I think we will do that one day.
All right.
Marshall Mathers LP
Hey.
is like one of my favorite rap albums of all time.
Yeah.
It's so fucking
Eminem's responsible for. Here's a great. Do you remember Big Cat's Going Away party on the boat?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so there's a piano on like the first floor, and so like at the end of the party, I sat down at the piano. We were doing like sing-alongs or whatever, and this guy comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, do you know any Eminem?" And we were doing like fucking Country Roads and bullshit, and some like Billy Joel or something. This guy's like, "Yo, do you know any Eminem?" And I was like, "The only Eminem song I can think of is with a piano is Stan," and he was like, "Yo, fucking hit those chords right now." And I don't know, I might have a video on my Snapchat or something, but there's some like Stooley at Dan's going away party on the boat, and I'm playing the chords of Stan. There's like a bunch of other songs we were playing, but it was like the end of the night, and this dude just fucking killing it in the middle of the dance floor, like, I called you, but you like whatever the fucking, how hard those
the lyrics
are. And then everybody on the boat was like singing the chorus. Like whatever that chick's name is, Dodo or Dudo or
Ditto.
Dido. Yes.
Said that very confidently.
Elton John and him covered or did that song together.
I don't
And
think that's a
on
remix. They
my
didn't do that
fucking
together, though.
word, that's one of the
Fun
best
fact.
live performances of all time is Elton John sitting. And I'm sorry I said the word Elton John, spoil anything.
Oh.
But Elton John and Eminem doing Stand together is one of the all-time great live performances. And I'm sitting there with this guy, this Stooley, just sitting there, just screaming it on at Dan's going away party. And it's a great musical memory of mine and anybody listening to this that was there. Long-winded story, but
There we go. All right,
passionate.
Chief, you're up.
I'm taking a venue. I do think that this is there's only one, in my brain, only one true landmark. I'm taking, I know,
Yeah.
you can say it. Because you hate
You're-
Colorado.
you're
You
taking
hate.
Red-
I'm
you're-
taking Red Rocks.
Yeah.
Red Rocks
yeah.
it went super viral with a video of a concert in the snow of a pick that I already spoiled, but I won't say it. I've been there before. The place is incredible. The fact that somebody like just looked at this rock formation was like, you know what, this would make a fucking sweet amphitheater. And then they built it, and I think it's been around for like 60 years or something like that now. But they've had a ton of great acts, and people want to play there. It's not overly big, so it's like you still kind of feel intimate. And then one time I was there. People like work out there when there's no concerts.
Oh, every day. It's packed out every day.
So
Yeah.
it was like my first day in Colorado. This is probably like this is when I was like 23. So I was in like decent, not fat kid shape like I am now. I see all these people running. I'm like, I'll run up the top of these steps. Got up to the top, had a little altitude issue, just yacked everywhere. But hasn't ruined my vision for or my love for that place because it is cool. It's special.
It's 100% on my bucket list.
Yeah.
Very strong strategic
mean-
pick there.
Yep.
I didn't go there. I've never been there, so I felt weird taking it. But
I think we're
people are
gonna
going to like
to.
that pick.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to go
Yeah,
that
I
route.
mean,
Yeah.
Anyway,
So many artists' best live albums are at Red Rocks.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
they
I
make it
my
a
point
point
that I've
to
never
you
been
to make
so.
that show
Yeah.
like their best one of their tour. You know,
Yeah.
because they
rightfully
know
so.
how,
It's a
how
great pick.
special that place is. I was gonna take it with my first pick if Chief didn't. I think it could have gone number 1 overall.
I think
Yeah,
so
probably.
too. Just because it's
Probably,
thin.
yeah.
It's thin, yeah. All right, Red Rocks. Anybody else? It looks sick. All,
It
all-
looks- I heard
all
the
of my
acoustics are
Colorado
awesome,
joking
too.
aside, I would like
Yeah.
to go someday.
I never heard you bust balls about
Oh,
Colorado.
he hates Colorado.
Isn't it
he
like
hates
an
Colorado
open
and
park?
people that like Colorado.
I don't know. I don't hate Colorado. I don't. No, Colorado people are going to hate me now. I hated like the big Colorado rush that went on and like the. Remember when like
Denver
everyone
in the early
when they legalized
2010s.
weed.
Yes.
2010, 11, and 12, everybody moved to Denver.
Yes, when like it was like the weed rush and
Yeah.
everyone's like enlightened and like everyone's like, dude, I'm moving to Rado.
Yeah, like
I know,
those,
it's like,
like
get the
fuck.
fuck out of
well,
my
yeah,
face.
fuck those people. But that's like, there's millions of people
I
that
know,
live there.
I know. I like them, but I don't like the people who were like in the weed rush.
Yeah, that's
Eh.
fair.
Thank you.
I hate stoners, or not stoners, potheads. There's a difference between
You're right.
someone
Yes.
who smokes
Yes.
This
weed and then a
episode is
pothead.
brought to you by.
Pothead culture.
Thanks.
all right.
Thanks, Cons.
Carl, you're up.
Like, yo, dude, I'm moving to Rado.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Fuck those people.
All right. You know what? Fuck you guys. I'm going country. I'm taking Kid Rock.
Kid Rock's not country.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's country. He's
No,
I don't-
he's not.
Yeah, I would say he is.
When has he ever been on like 99.5 or
Bro,
gotten
Kid
like?
Rock is not country.
He is not.
I would
country.
say
veto.
I'm not vetoing. I'd say he's country.
Dude, he's never.
He's
country.
not
He's
country.
rock. He's rap. He's country.
Listen. His genre is spread across.
Multiple.
His genre is spread across
Yes.
rap, rock, hip hop, country. Like, what do you?
What's his country song?
All summer
Stumped.
long, fuck face.
Stumped.
Yeah. No, I wasn't. I just dropped a fucking
What was it?
banger on
What'd you say?
and you're all summer long. You're too busy talking.
That's
all summer
definitely
long.
That's like poppy country. Yeah. With the
That's a great fucking
with
song.
Leonard
That's
Skinner.
a rock and roll. Yeah, Leonard Skinner. Are they country now too?
No,
So-
but you know what he was
country-
doing? Country
it's
fight.
Southern rock is definitely-
He took Southern rock and then he fucking
Tipping a lot of
twanged
picks
it
here,
to
guys.
country. Okay.
He's about as.
You're
They're
gonna
all
put Leonard.
dead,
You're gonna
Ed.
put Leonard. You're gonna pull Leonard Skinner out of the grave and make
He's-
him do a.
Yeah, they died in
Yeah,
this
yeah. Plane
Jesus,
crash, right?
Ed,
Yeah.
you like.
Sorry, he's about as country as Taylor Swift is. I'll be honest.
Taylor Swift.
Less
was-
country.
Yeah.
Taylor broke in as like
I
a
know
legitimate
in a
country
reverse
artist.
way, but he did like that's all summer long. Like that does pass as country, I guess, considering
I think
some of
that's.
the new
I
stuff.
would say that's rock and roll.
Man, so Ed doesn't want Kid Rock on the graphic, or
No, I mean I think Kid. I don't
how
know.
about that?
I'd like
Southern Illinois grad Ed doesn't like Kid Rock.
Well,
He is?
that's not fair to the people of Southern Illinois.
I didn't know
That's
that.
not fair. And I don't mind Kid Rock. I like Kid Rock.
I've
I'm
heard.
teasing. I'm teasing. No, do we need to do? I'll do a different one. I'll do country. I'll do a different.
You
if
could
guys
take
wanna
him for
veto-
rock.
No,
I
no,
didn't
no. There's
veto.
two. I'm not taking them for rock, Ed. Don't do that to me. I try to draft them for country. There's categories. Thank you. I know what you're doing there, pal. So are you guys saying Kid Rock is not country?
Yeah,
That's
bro,
fine.
he's
Listen,
not
and here, to
country.
be honest with you guys, I thought it was a little bit of a reach. I wanted Kid Rock in the first round.
All
I
right.
don't want him as
All
my
right.
rock guy. If I could get him as my country guy, I thought that would sell.
Cons, you got to take.
So I think he's so.
I have a
amorphous
different
that-
pick.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'll let you take your pick. I'm just saying
Oh.
because he goes across so many genres, it's like he doesn't belong to any one of them. So it's almost
That's
like,
fair. I
you
actually
know,
just.
it's tough to pigeonhole him.
I think there's like a Venn
almost like if you did
diagram.
music festival research before the draft, and then you saw that one of the categories was pop, you'd question why we were doing pop.
All right.
Anyway,
All right. This,
All right,
this
I'm
draft,
sorry.
It's going to break me.
Dude, all right, fine. I'm taking Garth Brooks country.
All right.
White Sox Dave, tell your story.
I got Garth Brooks tickets to a VIP show in
Oh, you
2018,
piece
maybe.
of shit.
At Joe's on Wheat Street, there's maybe 200, 300 people there. Tops, I was basically sitting on his lap, and I loved every minute of it. It was an awesome
You
show.
would.
Yeah,
Freaking
I mean,
sit on someone's lap.
he's the I hate country guy for years and years and years, documented on Twitter. I hate country sucks, all this stuff.
And I have since amended that to like pop country.
I mean, he is the king of pop country.
I don't
he
think so at all.
That. You're wrong.
I'm talking about like Taylor Swift's type of country music.
No.
Garth Brooks.
Garth Brooks, he bridged the gap between country and mainstream back in the day. And he definitely brought country to the masses.
But if
or at least was part of it.
If you look at people, I can't do it without tipping picks, I guess. But like, read into that, Dave, or I'll send you a link. The current country pop that you hate, everybody to a man credits that type of music, starting with Garth Brooks.
Okay.
Yep.
So that doesn't mean so it's still evolved since him into what it is today. He was the
I
bridge.
like Garth Brooks, but like it's just a fine line for you to walk.
There's also artists like I don't listen to pop music all that often, or country music all that often. There are artists that just everybody likes as a whole, even if you don't like that genre of music. Garth Brooks definitely checks out. If you get offered Garth Brooks tickets, you take those tickets.
Yeah.
100% of the time.
By the way, have any of you seen that documentary that Garth Brooks did?
No.
Oh my gosh. I forget what service it's on, but it's out there. He is one strange individual.
Really?
See, I've heard different.
Oh, no. Tom Segura, the stand-up comedian, has like this whole bit where he's like, I'm pretty sure that Garth Brooks is like a serial killer. And like he plays these...
He might be.
He plays like these clips of interviews and like his reactions to things, and it was like something is definitely off about Garth Brooks, like, and not just like he's been too famous for too long, like something.
Well, so
weird.
I think that it's due in part because of how famous he got.
Yeah.
Because again, when he was bridging that gap between country and mainstream, nobody else was doing it. So he was getting all the country fans. He was getting a lot of the mainstream fans. So he was getting a level of fame that hadn't been experienced, I think. Maybe you could say, I don't think anyone's going to take this person. Willie Nelson, maybe a little. Nobody had really done that before. So I think he got too famous to where he just thought of himself as a god.
Maybe.
And you don't want Chris Gaines, Carl, just to be clear.
That's his pop category. That's what we took for pop.
I think Carl's muted.
I don't think you're muted, Carl. Carl, you're muted.
We can't hear you.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to interrupt the conversation. I had the tendency I muted myself. Anyways, I was in Omaha, Nebraska with Brandon Walker for the College World Series in 2021, and we had a day off, and I hit up Garrett Classy, who was a friend of ours from UIC back in the Chicago days, and he said, come on out, and we'll show you guys around the football stadium, all this stuff. And we were standing in the middle of the football stadium, and Garrett was telling us, again, a friend of Barstool Chicago when he was the AD at UIC, and he was explaining to us that, like, it was a huge win for him to convince the Nebraska athletic department to let him offer Memorial Stadium as a venue. Sorry to spoil. Thanks, Dave. To Garth Brooks to come to Nebraska to do a concert, because he did one in like 93, and they were like, yo, we should bring him back. And they were like, nah, that's not what we do with Memorial Stadium. It's for Nebraska football. And he's like, trust me, we should do this or something. So we were there while he was negotiating, and I guess it had just they had just approved it. They had put it on sale. They sold it out overnight. Over almost 90,000 people. That's like past like a year ago. 90,000 people in the middle of Nebraska sell out for Garth Brooks.
Crazy.
Like,
he's huge.
Like now we think, hey, dude, big concert coming to the United Center. Like even Elton. Sorry. Just there's people that sell out places. Just going to the middle of Nebraska and doing 90,000 people is it's like a NASCAR race.
I mean, Garth Brooks is famous for getting 1 million people in Central Park in New York. 1 million people.
I'm
gonna pull it out.
Half the population of Chicago.
Yeah, Garth Brooks is a fucking megastar, and he's very worthy. It's a great pick. He's
Attendance
a first rounder.
over 1 million.
He's very worthy of being the first country star off the.
You're right. Sorry, Ed.
board.
We're getting long in the tooth.
Yeah,
in the first
we're
round.
good here. We're good.
Yeah.
And I think we did you a favor taking Kid Rock off the board.
Big time.
Well, no, but I mean, Kid Rock's a big music festival guy, and I think
He is.
Dante has said this forever. If you've ever seen Kid Rock perform live, it's supposed to be like the best concert.
For sure. I like Kid Rock, and he would give you a great Thursday performance. He warms up the crowd on that Thursday for you, for sure, if you got him there.
Yeah.
White Sox, Steve.
On the Garth Brooks note, Tracy Smith, Michigan's head baseball coach now. He's at ASU. He plays like pickup hoops with him and says he's a great guy. That's the only story I have about him. But anyways, I'm
not saying he's a good guy, but I just think he's weird.
All right.
Carl's
Full Garth
yelling.
Brooks podcast starting right now.
I didn't hear that either. I'm going with venue. I'm going with Alpine. That's the only like national venue I've been to. For us in the Midwest, especially Chicago, I feel like it's a rite of passage to see Dave Matthews there as like a 20-year-old. You know, I tried sneaking in one year. To all the little youngsters out there who are broke, my buddy Swanee, I would love to get him on to tell these stories, but it's not around anymore. But 97.9, The Loop used to be the big classic rock station in Chicago, and they do all these promotional shit. And my buddy would get all the promos into like a big duffel bag that had the Loops logo on it and everything, like. Just like beads and koozies with the, and he would walk up to the ticket gate and say, "Hey, I'm here at the Loop," and they would let him walk right in. I swear to God, I don't know how the fuck he figured it out, who told him about it, but it worked every single year we'd go. And instead of dropping like the $200 on a ticket, I, on the other hand, the first time I went, didn't have the money to pay whatever it was for a Dave Matthews ticket. I tried to go around to the golf course and sneak under the fence, and the fence is legit like 30 feet high. How high is that fence? You guys?
I've never been.
Something like that.
It's high.
Yeah.
It's like the Green Monster.
Yeah.
And but Alpine, if you've never seen a concert there, it's fucking awesome. The tailgate
Great
scene's
spot.
incredible.
There's a certain band that is that I never went to, that is a rite of passage for a Chicago kid.
I think I probably said it by accident.
You said it twice.
Oh, you
Yeah,
did?
you
Oh,
did.
all right.
Yeah.
I didn't catch it, but
But it was the one weekend you'd look forward to every year growing up.
twice.
Yeah.
It's everybody's tipping picks already, so it's kind of whatever at this point. But
Kind of moot.
but Alpine,
place is
Alpine.
sick. The place is sick.
It's a Midwest version of Red Rocks, and
Yeah.
you do have to walk up like a fucking snow mountain or a ski mountain.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time you get to the venue itself from the parking lot where you're doing all the tailgating, you're drunk and you're walking up like a really steep grade, and people are like using handrails and shit to like pull themselves up. So, but it's Alpine's the best.
All right, Alpine. You're up again.
Sturk, have you been there, Chief?
Yep.
I'm assuming
Muted again, Carl.
I keep muting myself because I don't want to.
You're good. Just
I
keep
having
stay
these
off me.
reactions. Yeah, I had a maiden voyage. You'll always like everybody like this. My older brothers to Alpine. I was going into my senior year of high school, and they were like, pick a buddy. So I picked Neil Laughlin, get just great buddy from home, and we went up there and just kind of like raised hell with these like college kids. And you had heard about it because it was like, yo, we're going to Alpine. You're going to Alpine. You're just like a kid. You're in, whatever. Like, oh, the boys are leaving to go to Alpine to see Dave. And as the youngest, you're just like, I want to get up there. I want to get up there. And then you're going to senior year of high school. And then one day it's just like, hey, pick a guy. Car's leaving on Friday. We're going to Alpine to see Dave.
Yeah, and for me it was only like an hour 15.
You guys are allowed to tag
away.
along. We're going to crash at our buddy's place on Friday. Then we're going to go up there Saturday. We'll pay for everything. Only thing is you guys can't be assholes. So don't bring one of your asshole friends. So it's like, all right, I got to pick my buddy I know I can go hang. And that was Neil. So we went up there to Alpine, and just a hilarious story where we got mixed up with like Eddie, you'll like this, some Fenwick kids, and Fenwick's a co-ed school, and we went to an all-boys school. And so you meet the girls there, and then we went to college, and it was like, hey, aren't you the guys from Alpine? And so it's just like a really special place if you grew up around Chicago. I swear to God, it's like, hey, like, we met in Alpine, and then we'd like join the same frat. It's just a really, again, I'm getting emotional or like sentimental, but if you've been to Alpine, it's a fucking sick place. And that was my only experience up there. Dying to go back.
A not so
Dave,
fun
you're,
fact about Alpine Valley. That's where Stevie Ray Vaughan died. He was supposed to be taking a he got in a helicopter. The helicopter took off, and he had a show the next night in Chicago, which is only like 80, 90 miles. It's not far. And who Eric Clapton was supposed to. I believe it was Eric Clapton was supposed to be on that helicopter, and he's like, "No, I'll catch the next one." 2 minutes later, the helicopter went down. So very sad story.
Clapton.
Yeah, that happened at Alpine.
Crazy.
And then the next one, I'm gonna go with. I guess this would fit into multiple categories as well. Probably rock though. I'm going Dead and Co with John Mayer. It's the best concert I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of good concerts. It was absolutely fucking incredible. And they just announced that next year is their last year touring. So immediately everyone's like, "Oh, I got to see him. Bob Weir and John Mayer and their entire team. It was life-changing.
Yeah,
They played all these medleys. Like they'd start with Scarlet Begonias, say, and then they play 3 songs in between the start of Scarlet Begonias and then wrap up with Scarlet Begonias at the end of those 3 songs. And they played for like 5 straight hours. It was
when jam bands do that, where they start one song, go into another, and then come back to the original. Yeah. It's a lot of fun to listen to. And John Mayer's been such a freaking shot in the arm for them and been so great. And I don't know if you guys have had a chance yet. I highly encourage you to read Francis's blog.
It's funny, yeah. I read
friends
it
with John Mayer. It's hysterical. But yeah, I mean that's a
What
great.
was it
pick.
about?
John Mayer DM'd him because he saw his trick where he hides food into like coffee cups to sneak onto planes or something like that.
Yeah, the Delta Lounge. Yeah. And Mayer DM'd him, and he's like, "Oh man, that's an uber famous person." And he goes through the saga of DMing him back, and they traded DMs. I don't want to ruin the.
They had a conversation.
Blog. They had a full blown conversation.
Yeah, they were like texting each other. It was really funny.
Yeah.
I would if he DM'd me, and I've pulled this move a handful of times, mostly 99% with chicks, a couple times with famous people. But if I would see that DM, I'd wait, like I'd throw my phone away or something and like go do a couple laps just so I didn't respond immediately, so it didn't look like I was desperate.
Oh yeah.
But I implore
You
everybody,
yourself?
if you haven't seen Dead and Co with John
Check it
Mayer,
out.
go. Last time you can do it is
Yeah,
next
this
summer
pick will
too.
get a lot of love. Obviously.
Yeah,
like you said.
This is a blind spot for me, and
Yeah, me
I feel
too.
like I
Me
need
too.
to correct it because I feel like I would like it, but I've never gotten into the
It
Dead.
was
You're gonna. I think you're gonna get a lot of a good 1-2 Midwest punch with these
Yeah.
picks,
the
Dave.
one.
I think when it comes to the Dead, the other band that has been mentioned now 60 times but yet to be picked, if you like that band, I think you can kind of segue into the Dead pretty seamlessly.
There are going to be a lot of haters though. Oh, fuck jam bands. Like, fuck you. I don't give a shit.
They're awesome.
All right, Carl, you're up.
Carl, quit it with the mute, buddy.
Yeah, just don't mute.
All right,
Just,
that's it.
Just don't
No
mute.
mute.
you're an adult.
It was a
I
good
know.
idea. It didn't work out.
All right,
Good idea in
guys.
theory.
Hey,
Yeah.
fucking goddamn Carl being all considerate.
We're
One
gonna have to
comment
do
on
something about this.
one comment on the Grateful Dead thing. I was gonna say, Dave, unbelievable experience. You said life changing. One of my buddies, and then a group of his friends from work rented out a skybox for when he was at Wrigley, I think, at a venue, and we went in there. I got a ticket. Like last thing was like, hey, there's a group of us. We have another ticket if you're in town. And I live close to Wrigley, so I get Cubs tickets and concert tickets and stuff from buddies that are close when it comes up. Hey, we're coming in, and he's like, hey, if you want to come to this concert, I don't know if you know anything Grateful Dead. Like I follow them religiously, so we go there. And when I walked in, they had a skybox, and there was a bowl of mushrooms in there, and there's like, hey, if you want to eat shrooms. And when we say like religious experience, I know like mushrooms have caught like traction and stuff. Like tripping and watching John Mayer play with the Grateful Dead was sincerely as much of a religious experience as I think
I
anybody
believe
can
it.
have. It was like I just went home, it's like the happiest I've ever been. And just thinking now in hindsight, when you draft that's why I was sitting here like clapping, going nuts, like seeing them live perform. So them in a festival, anybody who's seen them, and they bring together such a crazy, awesome, cool crowd. So I just want to comment on that as a personal story. I know we like mixing those in on the snake draft. Here we go. My pick is Snoop Dogg rap category. Bring the fucking green hat, Snoop Dogg crowd. I would love to see him perform live. Just OG, legit. Legendary guy, one of the last remaining like figures from my childhood that was just as big then as he is now in my eyes. There's some other guys that may be like bigger, cooler, and have become more mainstream long time. But just like Snoop Dogg to me, rap, just watching him put on a concert would be incredible.
Nobody's
Gin and Juice
cooler than
live?
Snoop Dogg.
Come
I don't
on.
think there is. Yeah,
Nobody's
I think
cooler than
he's
Snoop
just-
Dogg.
Yeah,
Nobody's cooler than
I
I
Snoop
mean,
Dogg.
I think his ability to kind of morph throughout his career and just seamlessly work into these different areas, like his whole relationship with Martha Stewart, which seems very genuine, things of that nature, I think just speaks to his.
That's
just
the first thing that
ability
comes to
overall.
mind.
I saw him on Cribs, and this is years ago. He's obviously got an immaculate house, and he's got a shed in his backyard that I want to say it said no women or no kids allowed. It was just a little sign that had like twine hanging on a nail, and it was just his man cave. He's like, he was coaching his son's football team at the time, and he was like a stud high school player or something. And he was touring this shed, and it's probably not much bigger than the studio we're in right now. And he's just like, as cool as he is, I love seeing the human side of people like that, because he's like, yeah, just sitting here and watch football and no women and no kids allowed. And if they cross that line, they know they fucked up, because I just tell them to leave.
I'm pretty sure that Snoop's kid and another rapper's kid were on the same UCLA football team at the same time. But neither one of them
He's not a
finished
rapper.
there. Yes.
Carl's list is
Are you
so
talking
funny
about the actor, Will
No,
Smith?
I'll tell you afterwards.
because
No.
I love. I mean, I know we're thinking of like separate days, but if like they were like back to back, like thinking of Garth Brooks and like Snoop Dogg swapping their cowboy hat for like the blunt, and like, you know,
That would be fun.
just be
I might just be living in the 90s with my picks, but that's okay.
No,
The 90s were
Snoop Dogg's
great.
a great pick. Yeah, the 90s were great, by the way.
yeah. Snoop Dogg, man. Chief, you're up.
I'm going rap as well, because I feel like this is a thin category for me, because I've just fallen off since like 2006, I would say, was when I stopped paying attention to rap. I'm taking Jay-Z. So I'm taking...
Fuck.
You like that one, Cons? Was that on your list?
Yeah, that was my number one for that category.
And I think, Snoop Dogg is like the coolest, but I think if I had to choose between which guy's music I'm listening to, I would take Jay-Z.
Oh, that's such a hard question.
You think?
Yeah.
I
Black
feel like
Album's awesome, obviously.
Lucifer, like all the
Yeah.
Blueprint, like there's so many.
Snoop was with
I
like NWA
No,
though.
but I think
and,
No, he
but I
wasn't.
think- no,
he wasn't with NWA, but
Yeah.
he did stuff with NWA.
Yeah.
I just think lyrically, Jay-Z is another guy. I think he's the once in a generation type guy to be able to come up with the lyrics he came up with, to never write them down. I just think he was a class
See, I didn't
by
even know
himself.
that.
Yeah, he never wrote anything down. He would just pop in the studio and
All
start
the
going.
best
He
of the
remembered it
best
all.
do that. Go and watch the Leonard Skinner documentary. It's on Netflix now. It's only an hour and a half long. It goes through the whole start to finish. They starting in Jacksonville, and Ronnie Van Zant, their lead singer, he died in a plane crash, unfortunately. They would be playing on the guitar, and he would just be, they'd describe it, he would just be like stewing. He'd go fish in the river, that this little shed that they would write their music in, come back, not have a single thing written down, and he's like, there's Sweet Home Alabama. There's,
That's fucking
there's,
wild.
and all the best, they're all geniuses like that, where they don't have to, they just do it. It's like a different level of intelligence that doesn't exist in us normals.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm taking. I think I'm very comfortable with Jay-Z as my rap guy, and I've seen him in concert at a music festival.
No.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
No.
And Carl,
Chief at a Jay-Z. Like,
Yeah.
I love the pick. I think it's a great pick, historic pick. He's so cool. There's this old famous video of like when he was coming up, and they used to bring these like people in, and there's, like old school rap festivals before the internet or whatever. Like, God, take me back in time to when like you just why'd you go there? Because fucking you knew you had to be there. And so like Jay-Z came out, and just it's like I don't know what I want to call it, a viral or famous video, but him just bringing it down in like 91 or something. And it was like right when his first shit broke out, and you could just get that sense, that vibe, like just such a legendary guy. Then to carry it through, the businessman, everything about Jay-Z, to see him live would like fit into some of these experiences. Why like this draft is kind of gravitating less towards like a music festival and more towards like a bucket list experience, where you're just like, man, I would love to see if I could go to like see this person live and be a part of that experience. And Jay-Z's certainly up there, because he's just bigger than fucking life, man. He's just one of those very few guys that in a world where people are like bigger than life, he's bigger than all those motherfuckers.
Yeah, it was at Bonnaroo in like 09 or 10 or something like that, which is, if I had to guess what is the smelliest festival, I think it's got to be Bonnaroo.
They're all probably like that.
Bonnaroo is tough. So I was dating this girl down there, and her family lived like the next town over. It's like Winchester and Manchester, Tennessee, and then her family would run a beer tent. So we would get all the free tickets and all the free access, sell beer for a few hours, and then fuck around at the concert, and then be able to go home. Because once you're in there, you can't really leave. But we would always get to leave and then come back in. It was like the perfect way to do it. And yeah, so I saw Jay-Z at a music festival. So that's it. That's my Jay-Z
Good pick.
story.
That's a good pick.
Was he popular at West Point?
Quite. No, he's more popular where I grew up and where I went to high school among my friends. Not so much at West Point.
Again, he's like one of those guys that everybody likes, even if you like rap or hip hop or not. I feel like everybody loves Jay-Z. He's like the Taylor Swift of rappers.
Big pimpin', baby.
Yeah.
Big pimpin', spandin' cheese.
Harry, clip that.
Does he say cheese or G's?
Just please clip Ed saying big pimpin' and send it to me. Need that as like a fucking text notification now.
All right, it's to me. I'm waffling. Because you're right, Carl. Like, you were building this, and this is really like, it's more like if you're like building a thing four nights in a row, and under that, guys, like, I think I'm going to go venue here. And I'm interested to see how this is going to go over, because just going there, you know, we went to that game 7 at Madison Square Garden.
Mm-hmm.
And it really is different, man.
MSG is sweet.
And I say that as a Chicago guy. And, you know, I know White Sox Dave likes to give New York a lot of shit, but MSG's different, man. There's something about it.
I agree.
Have you been there?
Yeah.
Hey,
I was
went
just
to
there
Game
2
7
weeks
together.
ago, 3 weeks, whatever it was, for the UFC thing, and there was nothing special. It was just like UC. There was no character. I didn't feel. I
disagree.
I didn't walk in there.
I can't take you seriously.
Hold on. For
Cons.
sporting events, it is different though, because Madison Square Garden owns proprietary, to my understanding, and someone can correct me, owns proprietary lighting technology, where they make sporting events where like it's blacked out around the stadium, and then it's like a proprietary system, and I believe the Lakers pay a fuck ton of money to have it. The Clippers don't. They play in the same stadium. That's why Lakers games look way different than Clippers games, because it's a way that they black out the stadium, and then they there's some fucking thing that Madison Square Garden does. So if Eddie's coming in and saying, hey, game 7 for the Rangers.
It was sick.
And Dave's saying, I saw a fighting event. I think the Rangers and the Knicks do.
But that's a sporting event. It was dark around us.
I know. So I'm just saying, if someone's coming in here going, it was a special experience, and I saw game 7 there, I'm just putting it out there.
Well, let me say this then. So I went to Game 7 at the United Center, Hawks Red Wings 2013, one of the greatest sporting events of my life, but I had like the most passionate rooting interest imaginable.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And then I saw Penguins Rangers Game 7 this past year at MSG.
We went together.
Right. That's where, right. And I would say, even as a neutral, okay, it had like this elevated, like there was
It was
just
game 7.
But I just compared it to a Game 7 in the United Center and said it was better. Even like
I'm saying what I experienced. I didn't think it was anything.
What were you saying?
I don't think.
If I never go back there again, I won't give a shit. If I don't get to Red Rocks,
UFC is such an obscure event to see there. It's like saying, I saw rodeo at MSG and it didn't really impress me. Yeah, no kidding.
Did you see how many celebrities were at that event?
No. It's not.
It wasn't obscure.
But
it was a pay-per-view that millions of people paid $80 for.
I'm talking. No. Listen, I'm saying obscure in the sense that it's not considered one of the major events that occurs at MSG. We're talking concerts and sporting events. Those are the major events. And I know UFC is a sport. I'm talking like, hockey and basketball.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm talking the venue itself. It was no different than the United Center. It was cookie cutter.
It's
Yeah,
not-
but you know
I
what the
disagree
United
on
Center
that.
does
All
not
right,
have?
and they also call
Sorry.
it, its nickname is the world's most famous arena.
It's called the Mecca.
Right. So
The
that's
Mecca,
why.
yeah.
That's why. The reason it differs from United Center is the amount of history. You walk in that venue and the history just hits you in the face.
I didn't
so
get
many
hit in the
major
face with
events
it.
that have occurred there.
Yeah.
And it
course.
adds to the aura.
There's like I don't know. I guess it's fine to disagree.
Yeah.
I like them Madison Square Garden a lot. I think it's really cool. And listen, I have a lot of Chicago bias for
Of course,
sure.
but it's
But
cool
I think
because of
it's
the
not-
history.
And
not
I've never
because of
seen a
the
concert
venue.
there either. So
I think that skywalk thing that they
Yeah, the
have
Chase
up there,
Bridge.
yeah,
Chase
whatever that's
Bridge looks
called, I think
sick.
that's cool.
heard it's awesome
I
to watch a
think,
hockey
like,
game up there.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
And then it's like it does feel like it's like the United Center for
Ceiling looks. I
Yeah.
think it's wood. It looks
something. It's got a unique, but then even the United Center is so cavernous that like there was something about MSG where
It's smaller, yeah.
you felt closer, even though the stadium size is pretty similar. So I don't know. I think MSG is a superior building venue than the United Center.
100%.
Also, just
United Center, I think, sucks.
how it's constructed, but also to Carl's point with the lighting, something about the way that's lit, it does make you feel like you're
Yeah,
closer
dude,
to the action.
for sure. I don't think the UC sucks, but like I'm just saying. I think MSG is a cut above. I buy
agree.
into it. There's also like I said, I've never seen a concert there, but there is a very famous man who plays a piano who's got a banner hung up there, and that means something as well. That
Here's
means
the other
something as
thing.
well.
That might be the music game 7. You know, to see him there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing. Sorry to say, there are very few arenas, and MSG might be the only one, or one of the only ones. People aren't doing special things at the United Center. You might get a random person, like so the artist that's been mentioned like 65 times already. I was at a concert at MSG for that artist, and James Brown came out on stage. James Brown is not coming out on stage at the Hershey Amphitheater. Okay? You know what I mean?
Bad boys.
People
You're right.
save special occasions, special events for special venues, and MSG is a cut above the rest.
You're right. And it was going to get drafted, I think. It's definitely worthy of the top 5. Does it take away points because it's got a roof? Maybe.
Yeah, I think
Maybe.
I'll say this.
Maybe.
Part of my argument here is that I think all basketball and hockey arenas are basically the same. A baseball field is different, and obviously
Sure.
I'm a baseball fan, but a baseball field can be pretty. You know, it's got character to it. Like there was nothing really aside from the history. Of course, the Madison Square Garden, it's got history from boxing to basketball, hockey, everything. But as the building itself, like, oh, I'm going to my seat, like I'm going to the consent. Like there was no Green Monster, there was no ivy at Wrigley Field. You know, the mountains in the background of Dodger Stadium. That's what I'm like. It's just kind of the United Center with more history. That's what it was to me. Like if I never go back to Madison Square Garden, I won't give a shit.
All right.
Should I make it to Red Rocks eventually, which I hope I do, I'm sure that I'd be like, I have to hit this every summer to see some show here.
Let's get a whole group. Let's get like 20 people.
I would love that. Take the Bussin' with the Boys bus or something.
To the Red Rocks.
Yeah.
But I think
should
that's
know,
a fair argument.
Before I turn it over
We'll
to
do a BFFs podcast, and then we'll do a live show.
I should note, Cons, before you make your pick, if anyone out there, we're talking a lot of concerts today, if anyone's trying to get tickets, they should know by now the best spot to get their tickets is the Game Time app. The exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. This is the perfect ad for this podcast right now. Like, perfect. Drink a Miller Lite, get a Game Time ticket for a concert. Give the gift of an awesome experience this holiday season with Game Time. If you're nervous that your present won't arrive in time or simply forget the holiday, shop with the Game Time app. Game Time tickets get delivered to your phone and inbox instantly. Game Time has all the best tickets, and you'll get an awesome price on them. If you haven't given Game Time a shot yet, now's the time. We've been using Game Time all year. We went to a Bears game. Obviously, we've all went to concerts. Dave, you went to a concert, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which one have you went to?
I just went to Marcus King.
Okay, there we go.
But we're going to Red Rocks, Ed.
We're going to Red Rocks. We're going to Red Rocks, you guys.
He's touring with a band that will get drafted right now, and I'm sure they'll be hitting up Red Rocks. So we should hit up Game Time With what promo code? Ed?
Beautiful. Download the Game Time app, go to the account tab to create a login, redeem code DOGWALK for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Download Game Time, last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Can't emphasize that enough. If you need a last minute ticket, last minute gift, it's December. Just log onto that app, buy someone tickets, check out those concert dates for 2023, and you'll be good to go. It's the way to go.
That's a better gift than a
100%.
tie or a whatever junk you're gonna buy. Get an experience.
You don't like getting underwear?
100%.
I actually do, but I like if I'm gonna give you want an experience.
Use that promo code DOGWALK. All right, Cons, you're up.
All right, I got 2. I will say I was really hoping it was going to get back to me, but Chief took Jay-Z. I was going to take Jay-Z with my second pick. So that was a good pick there. But I will now save my rap pick because I don't think any of you will take this rap pick. So I'm going to switch to – no. Please, nobody pick that.
Please, nobody pick
I'm
that.
going to go –
Please.
Yeah, please nobody pick that. Yeah. You just all get canceled by default, and we don't need that.
Right.
I'm actually going to go venue now. And when I think of a festival, I think I want something outside that has hosted a lot of monumental shows. And I've never been there, but because I'm building this festival, it gives me a reason to go. And I've always wanted to go there. I'm going to pick the Gorge Amphitheater out in Washington.
Never heard of it.
I've heard of it.
Well, I mean, that other guy who's played at Red Rocks, he's played a lot of big shows at the Gorge too. I think it's definitely up there in top 2, top 3 most well-known amphitheaters.
Yeah.
Natural amphitheaters in the country.
I'll say
looks
this:
sick.
when I was Googling different venues to spin the hamster wheel for the draft, I did see it on a bunch of places, but I had never heard of it prior to that.
It looks sick.
It does look sick.
Is it outdoors?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. It's outdoors. It hosts festivals.
Not George
so
Washington
It's built
Gorge.
for festivals. So I'm
Yeah, that
going
looks
with Gorge.
awesome.
And as
This
I
looks
said,
fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never been. I've only listened to albums of people playing there, and they sounded great. So I'm like, all right, I got to get there. So good news, my festival's going there. And then with my next pick, I am actually going to go country because I just want to bring a good time. And I think this artist plays nothing but songs that put you in a good mood, and that's Eric Church.
Great pick.
I like Eric Church.
Yeah,
Eric Church
I
is
mean,
one of my. If I were gonna have like my top 10 songs ever, he would have one on there. Carolina.
Yeah.
Eric Church is probably my favorite country artist, and it pains me to say this, but I seen him in concert once, and I just didn't love it. Have you ever heard that about him?
I've heard that. Well, yes, and I've heard that about another band that we can mention later, who's one of
Yeah.
my favorites. But
Yeah, I'm not bagging the
Rascal
pick because
Flatts?
I heard people say that they like him, and I don't know. And I've heard very differing things. So maybe I don't know. Maybe he's had a bad day. That happens. But that's why I couldn't take him with a open heart.
Yeah.
you know.
I hope
couldn't
there's one
with
guy
an
who
honest
gets
heart.
picked so I can just fucking rip into him.
Who? Oh well, we'll
Well,
see.
you can't because that would spoil it because he hasn't been picked yet. Eric Church is lumped into a group of country stars that we'll talk about in the honorable mention category, where I know the name and I respect the name and I understand that he's very popular. And as I look at his pictures, I'm like, don't know if I don't know if you put 3 men in front of me in his age bracket that I'd be able to pick him out of those 3 people, but I definitely recognize the name, and I just for me generally just lumped into kind of what do you love about Eric Church?
He's a beast, dude. He's got
Yeah.
so many
yeah,
good
he's
songs.
got-
Okay, so
He's
just as
awesome.
a general guy who doesn't know shit, what could you sell me for a second?
He's like, is he the country guy? Like before you're this new guy came around.
I would say that he's kind of the bridge between.
We already brought him up. So just say it.
Who?
I mean,
No, but no.
Well,
I think we need to stop
Yeah.
worrying about tipping picks.
Yeah,
I-
and
no,
I
but
appreciate
it's
that 'cause
not
I
just-
like a fluid conversation. I
Yeah.
think this is time for fluidity.
Yeah.
I think Eric Church bridges the gap between mainstream and country and brings a lot
Correct.
of people
Yes.
into the country
Correct.
genre.
Did Contra steal my
and-
point?
Yes, I incepted your point. I knew you were going to make that point.
Let's go. Get the fucking rocks.
No, but I mean, I think, Carl, if I could sell you on him, I've never heard any of his songs and been nothing but in a good mood.
Yeah.
It's just an ultimate, hey, it's the summer, We're out back. The grill is going. Maybe we're bouncing in and out of the pool. The beers are on ice. The Miller Lights are on ice. Sun is shining.
I got a question for you, and I got a question for you.
Yep.
Are either you losers who bitch about the weather? Don't you wish you were around a little bonfire outside at a lake house or whatever you guys, what do you guys call them, bungalows out in New Jersey? Listening to some country music?
Tom Lay or me?
I'm talking to Cons, because I saw him bitching about it
we
being
have lake
7.
houses.
Yeah, I mean, my mom called them bungalows on the
dude,
cabin.
whatever. Once we hit fall, I like fall weather. I don't want to revert back to summer temperatures. That's all.
I mean, 70.
The summer temperatures are great in the summer.
But don't you wish you were? See, to me, country music just reeks summer. Like I don't want to listen to country music in the winter when I'm like in a basement at a house party.
All right, so that's a perfect segue because I think Eric Church, you can have greatest hits
For sure. But that's Eric Church. It's not country as a whole.
Of all summer music, that is just Eric Church. He's talking about, he's on the US 99 kind of talking about his dog and beer and lost love and all that, and then he can dial it into something else that's more appropriate for fall and winter. Like he's the guy who kind of bridges that gap and kind of plays to different audiences, and then but everybody is kind of like, yeah, Church is guy, and he's got an album named Chief, so I like that too.
Yeah, like he's.
I think his music is just tailor made for an outdoor festival. I really do.
Yep.
Excellent.
A lot of country is. I love going to country concerts.
I buy.
Yeah,
Just bought.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he's great.
And Eddie, you probably have the best solicitation saying it's probably one of your favorite country guys because
he's my number one still for sure. I just couldn't take him with an honest heart
because you saw him and
I didn't think he was that great live. But
you know what? I'm sorry you had that experience. Right? It's like someone talking in a movie theater when you go see The Irishman.
Yeah, it happens.
Dave, you love Susan Tedeschi, right?
Sure do.
He's got a song that does a duet with her, so it's
love that.
like a real recognized real situation.
I love her. I'm going to see her in January.
There you go.
Via Game Time.
That's sick.
It is.
Yeah,
It's pretty sick.
Sounds like a brag.
Edward.
All right, it's to me. Good pick, Cons.
That is a good pick.
Fuck,
I still
man.
fucking hate your guts.
This is hard.
Hate what you
dude.
can't be.
I'm between pop and country.
I don't know who would be left on your so that's why I thought you would take Church because I feel like that's your guy.
He is my guy.
Okay,
Country's
I
my
know.
guy. But do you? That was a. Give me some love for being truthful to myself.
There you go. Like that.
Thank
Welcome
you.
to the gang.
Thank you. All right, fuck it. I'm going pop.
Do it.
I'm taking Lady Gaga.
Whoa!
Yo, great pick, Ed.
Yeah.
Ed, great pick. So I was always kind of indifferent on Gaga whenever I heard her. And then I saw her in A Star is Born, and I kind of started listening to a little bit more of her catalog. And I thought to myself, wow, she is supremely talented. And I watched a documentary about her, and I grew such a large appreciation for her that she's not just like the bubblegum pop songs. She's a genuine artist. Awesome pick.
I think it's a home run. I hate that I'm agreeing with Cons on this podcast.
And Ed.
Dave, open your heart.
And me.
I was the
Open your
exact
heart,
same
dude.
way.
It's fucking December, Dave. 1 month.
I
Merry
watched
Christmas.
A Star is Born on, it was the 4th of July of 2020.
Sad
And
movie.
she was absolutely incredible in that movie. So I did a little deep dive into her too. Like Con said, she's supremely talented in anything she does. With that said, I did not like her music at all, and I gave her 0 shot because Poker Face is the worst song that has ever been popular.
Yes,
come on.
that shit's annoying. But when you get beyond,
I know
yeah.
exactly. I wish that kind of stuff was brought to the forefront because it's all awesome. Like there's
Yes.
videos of her on YouTube, like working crowds at like fucking
I
12
think
people.
the
She's
Poker Face type
Juilliard
stuff?
trained. Like she came from like the
Yeah,
number one most
yeah.
prestigious art school in the world.
in the world. Yeah,
I
know.
think all that stuff just waters down her talent. When she gets to just sing, it's so impressive. And like the popcorn, bubblegum stuff, I think that just is a disservice to her.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
And, like,
I,
pays the
But
bills.
do you guys
though.
think that maybe she's smart enough to understand that she has to create the popcorn stuff in
Yes,
order
absolutely.
to create a large enough audience for them
Yes.
people to consume who she actually is? That's
Yes.
I think she's that smart.
She's a
I think she's
performer.
fucking talented
Yeah.
enough to be like, you know what? I'll give you I'll feed you the slop, and now that you guys are here, this is who I really am. She's such a talent. She's such an amazing fucking talent. I think she's the type of person that, like, long after we're all dead, when they look back and they gotta, you know, and you're just like looking at names and stuff. I'm not saying she's the number one.
Yeah.
But she's certainly ahead of so much of this other bullshit because she's a true artist.
Yeah.
She's very much a true artist, and then talented a bunch of other different disciplines.
Performer.
Just a great fucking pick. Would love to see Lady Gaga live. Love to.
I would too. And the other thing I really appreciate about her, she pays so much homage to those who came before her and other very talented artists. She recently did a duet album with Tony Bennett. I think when people do that and they're not too into their own self and they're humble enough to say, wow, this person who came before me paved the way and I want to perform with them because I appreciate how well they did it, that really sticks with me. So that's another reason I like her.
Yeah.
You don't pay
incredible.
White Sox Dave any respect, even though he's been doing the snake draft longer than you.
Well,
Ed has been leading the snake draft alongside all of you.
Thank you.
Please.
Dave's been merely lucky to be part of the ride.
Please.
Incredible performer. And can I say one more thing? I just looked up her Wikipedia. Is anybody else stunned that she's only 36 years old?
No,
No.
that sounds about right. She's
No.
been around
Wait, really?
15 years. Like,
No, she's one of
the
us.
mainstream.
Yeah.
she's one of us, man.
Do you know her
She's
real
Talk
name?
about a set of pipes.
You thought she was older?
Hold on, Dave. I didn't know she was that young.
You thought she was a lot
Yeah.
How old do you think she was?
I don't know, like 42?
Like,
I could see
Nicole
that
Kidman?
just because she's had so many like evolutions already.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's back to like
But-
looking like a normal person instead of all the makeup and.
She's been around since like 05.
Can I
04.
tell you one thing that
14-ish
bothers
years,
me about her? Like she goes out and she'll like wear a meat dress and she just
But
like
she really kind of doesn't do that a lot anymore, I feel. That was like early Gaga, like when Carl said.
attention
Yeah.
stuff, man. To draw,
When she-
to draw that. Now
Yep.
that people get sucked in, she's like, listen, now I actually am super talented.
I
I will
eat
also
meat.
say this. I'm super, and I know, like, not bonk or whatever, like horny stuff. Like, I'm super attracted to her. She's so
like magnetic.
yeah, man. Like,
got
god
that
damn,
pull.
let's go get some fucking coffee and talk. And like, what do you think about things? She's amazing.
Yeah, and she was in
Amazing.
Sopranos. Extra
Was
point.
she?
Yeah, she was in an episode of Sopranos.
I didn't know that.
No, come on,
Whoa,
keep
whoa,
going.
whoa.
Let's go.
The episode where AJ is trashing the school in
When
the
he
pool,
steps in the shit.
in the pool scene.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
she's in the pool scene. She's sitting in the bleachers with the,
She was also in an episode of one of those MTV shows, and I forget which one it was. It was like the hidden camera one. What was that one?
Silent
Room
Library.
Raiders.
No,
They
was
were
it?
all
No, I don't
hidden
think it was
camera
Room Raiders.
Next.
I don't remember. She was maybe I don't
Singled
know.
out.
I honestly don't remember. There's so many of those; they all kind of blend together. But she was definitely on one of those shows as well.
So yeah, I like Gaga there. That's my
Okay.
pick.
Amazing
Yeah.
pick, generational pick.
Thank you. That was
Sorry,
tough.
again,
I
just
like a
love-
couple
love
more
Gaga.
there.
Love her. Love Gaga.
Chief.
I'll go Pop and I'll go Sir Elton John. And this is one of those things where if I had an opportunity to see him live, I would be all over it. Like I love Elton
So-
John. He's got an extensive catalog, bops everywhere. The guy's fantastic.
Where were you in August?
I had a wedding. I couldn't miss a wedding, but if I didn't have a wedding, I absolutely would have been there.
What if
No,
you had
no,
already?
no,
What
I
if you had
wish
already
you
seen
probably-
him like
No,
five
we can
times in
lean
your
into
life?
obvious jokes, or I'll tell you, I didn't think that the performance in August that you missed was like enough to overwhelm. I saw him in 03 with Billy Joel face to face, and it was amazing. The performance at Soldier Field that Elton John won this year, he's old.
He can't hit his high notes as well anymore. I've seen him many times.
But it's a huge production. It's almost
Yeah.
it's bigger than a concert now. It's like a
Why did you grunt, Dave?
I think it's a kind of cheap pick for the category.
For Pop?
Yeah, I
Why?
mean it counts, but it's not
Well, like,
in
I-
the nature of what we're going with right now.
Oh, see, like
Come on, Dave.
I would say that it's similar to my rap category. I haven't listened to Pop since
There's guys that and girls, obviously guys is an asexual term, that are out there that you would love to see, and I'm going to take one.
Well,
Very
your pick
excited
is up
about
soon. Yeah, but I love Elton John. Like, and it's like that. There's certain songs where it's like everybody knows it, and there is something to like being at a live show where the whole audience kind of like can do the chorus and sing along
Yes.
with you, and it just adds like to
So-
the energy of the show.
I was very fortunate. He was always one of those artists for me that I never sought out tickets on my own to go see him. But I was very, very fortunate. My wife's company has a floor suite at Madison Square Garden.
Great venue.
And she was offered tickets for Elton John. And she's like, I'm like, what are you talking about? We have to go. We went. I was maybe like 15, 20 feet. And I'm looking for the picture to send you guys from Elton John. What a performer. After every song, he gets up and bows and thanks the audience for their applause. He plays all the hits. It was just an unreal show, start to finish. I'm so happy I got to go. He was a very, very good live performance.
Yeah, Elton John's a beast. Obviously, if we're going under the guise of like if this concert's this summer, he has lost a step or two. It is what it is.
75
He's
years
old.
old.
Yeah.
But I've also
And fast.
Go ahead.
I would say that for my pop category and for my rock category, it's a lot of people in that age bracket, you know. So I have heard that people that were in the stadium and not in the suite said it wasn't that bad of a show.
I don't think it was. No one's saying it was bad. I don't think.
I thought it was okay. I've seen him like rock in his
Yeah.
prime, and it was
Yeah.
way different. Like 20 years earlier, him and Billy Joel face to face.
That must have been incredible.
Horizon. Like it was the best. It was the best night of my life. Shout out Jason Ager.
Dueling
Brian
pianos.
Stern. But it's still, dude. It's a very good pick. You know, Elton John's obviously an icon, but then it's like that. Now, Ed, we'll go back to like when we set the drafts, like music festival. And then we got away. We're like, all right, bucket list. Yeah, Elton John's bucket list. But then I'm like, music festival. What type of crowd do you think Elton John would pull to like day two? Completely random. Like, what do you think he pulls like day two Lollapalooza if he was doing like Friday Lollapalooza?
I think this would be interesting because I think like shit like this would happen right if they're like, hey,
Yeah.
Elton John and Jay-Z are getting together. They're playing.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That would be. I think that would get people excited.
Yeah.
So like, this is actually. I think it's
Like
very
a weird
interesting
collab,
topic.
but it's going to work somehow.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Dirt off your shoulder. Could
Yeah.
you imagine? You gotta get that dirt. And he's playing
Listen, I love that. This goes back to my Gaga thing. When artists like Elton John and Eminem, clearly very different musicians, but when they can come together and they appreciate the other, I think that really is magical as it pertains to music. When you have two drastically different genres that meld together and work very well.
Yeah. All right. Elton John off the board. Carl, you're up. Before you make your pick, though, I do want to say we're talking a lot about music festivals, especially outdoor ones. You don't want to go to an outdoor festival with sweaty balls.
Oh,
Nope.
Or hairy
that's
balls.
the worst.
So make sure you're using Manscaped, all right? Because 'tis the season for clean balls.
Give me some of that Manscaped. Da 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 da.
Thank you, Cons, for la la la. From stocking stuffers to white elephants, Manscaped's products are the top of everyone's wish list. Help all the men in your life go from eggnog to nice hog this December by going to manscaped.com using code DOGWALK for 20% off plus free shipping. Manscaped is a one-stop shop for all your holiday needs. They have the perfect gift in the Platinum Package 4.0, plus loads of little presents, perfect for stocking stuffers. It includes a Lawnmower 4.0, the Weed Whacker, 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, body wash, deodorant, crop preserver, crop reviver, plus a travel bag and Manscaped boxers. It's good stuff, Dave. Dave just checked.
Now-
Oh, I thought you were checking your balls, dude. Oh, you were in the boxers. All right. That's just freaking me out.
Dude,
I thought he was checking his balls. That was crazy.
The balls do need to be trimmed up prior
them,
to Wish Fest tonight.
Prior to the fray.
Damn it.
Prior to the fray. We're just going to see the fray tonight. Chief and I are.
All right.
Not together.
We're
Another
going
great,
together.
Yeah, we're going together, but not like one-on-one.
not a date.
thing. It's not a date.
Another
Absolutely
great
not.
gift is the Shears 2.0. Their full kit for nail care with scissors, clippers, tweezers, and a file for the traveling man. There's also the new Preserve cologne that brings a light, breezy, woodsy feel and gives that fresh tree scent even after the holidays are over. Listen, Manscaped is legit. Like, this is the first time they've ever been on Dog Walk, I believe. They have so much good shit, and it's just a full package. The Crop Preserver, too, it's like this little wet wipe that comes in so clutch for moments like concerts like we're talking about. It's basically a wet wipe you just rub on the nuts so they don't smell, which everyone needs. Carl, you've talked about the ball cheese before.
Yeah, no, dude. Like I was actually going to ask this. Funny if you asked David, he was smelling his balls. I'm not in studio. For those of you not watching this, I have COVID. I'm out, and I'm done. Well, I'm wrapping up COVID. And I thought it would be a funny prompt. I was going to ask fucking Dave to scratch his balls and then have Ed sniff his fingers, because I know Dave's been using Manscaped and Dave's been saying that it's been working. So I was just going to see if we get a live read in studio.
Ed, smell my fingers.
Ed smells fingers.
Smell my fingers, Ed.
I love you, Manscaped.
Zoom in on Dave's fingers.
I used Manscaped this morning, Ed.
Dude, do you know how much Manscaped spent on this ad read?
I love
Ed,
you.
How long you been working on this podcast? Can you give him a fucking sniff right now?
Come on, give me a whiff, Ed. Smell my fingers.
If Manscaped
smell them.
If Manscaped buys the presenting sponsorship for Dog Walk, I will smell that finger from Dave.
Boom.
He'll smell it every week.
That's the caveat. I will not smell it right now. But personal endorsement, I love Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping with code DOGWALK at Manscaped. That's MANSCAPED.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use code DOGWALK Manscaped for a perfect gift that will be the holidays' biggest hit. All right, Carl, hit us off.
I don't have any personal venue places after you guys have taken the big chalk. Or I shouldn't say, I do have one personal venue place, I should say. You guys took great chalk. I told a personal story about Alpine, Red Rocks, who'd be the first. I haven't been there. I want to go see a band that doesn't qualify here. I would love to go see Fish there.
They're rock enough.
David.
I know. Same with Dead & Co. though. But go ahead. Sorry.
I'm just gonna take Wrigley Field here because I've had amazing experiences there. I've Billy Joel behind home plate with my brother Kevin, the pit for Lumineers with my wife, Grateful Dead and Co. You go down the list. Wrigley Field only books great concerts. So if you have experiences at Wrigley, like you're seeing awesome bands at the height of their prime. So I'm taking Wrigley Field, even though it kind of isn't, people say like, oh, acoustics, or you'll have better experiences other places. The other thing that's really cool, if you go to Wrigley and you're on the floor, like, dude, you can walk the infield. Like you're on the maybe not on the pitcher's mound, but like you can go play third base during the middle of a concert.
Yep.
Wrigley Field is
awesome.
without question the best. I think, I'm not well traveled in going to concerts outside of Chicago, but it's the best concert venue in Chicago. There's not a close second.
My favorite.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was going to take it if Alpine got taken. I was going to take it with my first pick. I love concerts at Wrigley Field.
I love it too.
There's a couple
concerts at Wrigley
great,
Field.
dude. We're very blessed. Chicago has some amazing, amazing places. This will never get drafted. Where did Metallica play this year, Dave?
They played at
Metro.
No, not the Metro.
They did.
The small little place,
Yeah, the super small place.
So that was one of the invite only shows, I'm sure. I got roofied at the Metro. We can talk about that.
But then like Foo Fighters came in and played like Cubby Bear, and you'll get Garth Brooks that'll come in and play Joe's on Weed. We're very lucky in Chicago with like our venues and stuff. But I'm interested to hear that you guys would say Wrigley Field be one. I think it's one of those places where you have like great experiences because the bars up and down the street, and just like. You can't think of like a better place to go to a concert than just like all of a sudden you're just out in the middle of the party.
It's awesome.
It's the best.
It's great. It's great.
Here's one negative. The crowd. There's so many like Miami of Ohio grads. And,
that's Wrigley Field as a whole.
And
it's
there's like 48-year-old guys being like, "Excuse me, pal." It's like. Like, fuck you, dude. Like, go underwrite a fucking bank loan.
I said this before, but I think it was Ed told me I was going to get him fired, kind of like Ligma Ballsack. But I forget his name at this point. But over summer when I went and saw Dead & Co. there, we had they have the fold-out chairs that they put in the infield. And one of the ushers came up to me. He listens to Redline and Dog Walk and all that. And he had a handful of the wristbands to get into the pit. And he's like, "You want these?" Just walked up to me for no reason. I'm like, yeah. So shout out to that guy. But Wrigley Field it's unmatched in the city for music.
Does everyone have a venue now?
Great. Yeah, but let's keep it moving.
Okay.
All right, White Sox, Dave, you're up.
I'm going to go with Pop now, and I have seen him at the UC. The UC's not getting drafted, right? I can stop trying to beat around the bush talking about the UC. Okay. Bruno Mars, fucking awesome live. awesome live. He put on such
you
a
say
good
he's-
show.
what
And this is back
genre
in like
did you
20
say?
pop.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
What did
I
you
thought
think it
said
was,
another
country?
one. Yeah. No. I thought you said he was rap, and I was like, wait, what? Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
Pop,
hip hop,
okay.
pop, rap, it's all intertwined to an extent. But Bruno Mars, he was so much fucking fun. I was given the tickets. It was a work thing at my old job, and I'm like, yeah, I'll go check it out. I was living right there anyways at the time, and I couldn't have been happier that I went. He was so much fun in
Yeah.
concert.
Great Super Bowl.
I don't know
too.
if this is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good. His was good. I don't know if this is an indictment on your pick or what, but I had one rule for my band at my wedding. There were two artists I didn't want to hear, and not because it's the artist. It's just because it's the same song that gets
Exactly.
played.
I hear that.
I said no Bruno Mars, no Beyonce. I didn't want to hear any of those.
And
songs.
that's fair.
No single ladies at the wedding.
No. Because also I got married at 37. So many of my friends are already married. So
Bruno Mars.
it's a good pick.
Very good. You're up again, David.
I accidentally put him in Carl's slot, but that is fine. I'm going to go with rap this time. I'm going with the Wu-Tang Clan.
All right. That's a
I
good
made
one.
sure they're still touring. They did just have a show on October 23rd, I think I saw. I had a chance to go see them, and I couldn't take it because I had a fucking 5 a.m. practice the next morning back in college, and I'm pissed I didn't just suck it up and go. I forget where they were playing, but Wu-Tang Clan, that's like all-time good hip-hop rap music. All-time good. So Wu-Tang.
Name a song.
I'm going with Noseface or Ghost Noseface. I keep thinking about the shirt.
Marshan.
Marshan. I don't even know. That's
Brad Marshan.
While you think of his song, do you guys? Maybe even somebody.
It's like a
somebody
band that
might-
it's like a group that I know, but I
Method Man,
Same.
Redman,
Yeah.
Ghostface Killer. I would have had the Abraham Lincoln seats where they got shot in the head, where he got shot in the head too, like the.
But I think somebody blogged it recently, maybe because that's how it came back into my memory. But when they did MTV Cribs for Redman, and they were gonna give him some house to say like, "Oh, this is your house." He's like, "Nah, that's not what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use my house," and his house just looked like a crack den.
Raekwon.
Did you guys remember that?
ODB. I keep forgetting.
no.
So?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Well, Google that. You watch
Okay.
it on YouTube. It was like he just had like a random dude sleeping there, and it was like unfurnished in some rooms, and it was just
Oh, weird.
not what you would expect from MTV Cribs.
Yeah.
Because the producers wanted to use a fully furnished house that looked like the house of a very successful musician.
Yeah.
And he's like, nah, like, that's just
I
not
don't
who
live
I am.
that
Come
way.
to Staten Island, and this is how I live.
Now
It's a good Cribs episode.
I gotta check that out. They're a blind spot for
Yeah.
me too, Chief.
Yeah.
I think our colleague from Staten Island wrote the blog about it, and it was a good blog. It was funny.
Oh, really? Hey, that's a nice compliment.
That is
Maybe
nice.
That could,
Yeah.
Is
Can we-
that-
Whoa.
Let's mend a fence.
that's not gonna happen.
What would it take for that fence to be mended?
Talk to the other party involved, because I've said multiple times. I've even gone through his handlers to say, listen, I have no beef. I have no ill will towards that individual.
Okay.
What was
will
it? It was because
gladly-
you stole laptops when you were at Army or something, or didn't pay your taxes. What was the beef? What was the genesis
No.
of it?
We don't gotta get into it.
Yeah.
We don't need to get into it, but
Yeah.
it was stupid to say the least.
It's Carl's pick, but
Yeah, he's not.
We lost him.
we lost him.
Yeah,
Okay.
Hey,
all
listen,
right.
I don't want to be a part of any of that, you know,
All
any type of this.
right, Carl.
I'd
You're
like
up.
to. I'm just trying to explain. Pop,
Pop, if you want. What else do you
taking
need?
Me?
I'm taking my living king of pop. I'm no disrespect to Michael Jackson. I'm taking Justin Timberlake pop. Now, I don't
that's
know
who
if he
I was-
performs. I don't give a fuck what his music festival situation is. You bring JT out. Look,
Yeah.
I mean, it just kills. The
That's-
idea of him as like a front line. Think of Lollapalooza and it's like all the names at the top. It was just Justin Timberlake. In your head, instantly, you're like, oh my God, this is going to be an amazing. And you know, there's going to be a little in sync fucking stuff in there.
Well, that's what I was going to
Tons
ask.
of future sex love sounds. When I was in college, probably the best album that came out in college.
Is that Cry Me a River?
Just like
Dude, it was
Cry Me
everything.
a
Yeah,
River.
everything you
Yeah.
know. Cry Me a River. Who knows?
yeah.
Just like Gaga, though, he did all this stuff in the beginning to bring people in, and then you're like, wow, this dude is actually unbelievably talented. And by the way, he's like a 2 handicap on a golf course and seems like he'd be a blast.
He was in one of the celebrity.
He's a good basketball
Yeah,
player.
basketball, and he's an athlete. Like he has fluid
he's a legit
motions.
athlete,
yeah.
He's one of those people that's so good
He's
at
also
everything
married
that you
to
hate
Jessica
him.
Biel.
Yeah.
I think they are
Jessica
on the
Biel is
rocks.
like,
from what I
isn't
read.
she? I would say Jessica Biel is like the most well-rounded, like one of the more tier 1 well-rounded Hollywood, like beautiful, cool, fucking
She
kills it.
Her in that movie Summer Catch was still like one of my like number one.
I liked her. You know what?
Chuck and Larry.
Sneaky.
Chuck and Larry.
Chuck
That's
and
what I
Larry
was gonna
too.
say.
Yeah,
I liked her in the A-Team.
I never saw it.
I never saw it.
Do we like the Justin Timberlake pick, or do you think
I
that's a little
do, but
too-
only if you get the NSYNC catalog too. Otherwise, I feel like he's only got the one
He
album.
could sing what he wants though at his concert. Like
I don't think he can.
What he's
But
like.
here's the thing: Timberlake can also flex to the Frank Sinatra spectrum of songs, and too, where like you could shut it down and go real slow, and the vocal range there's
He's
huge.
versatile.
I mean, he's done some country duets before that were fire.
I like that. I like that you had me on the edge of my seat when he said
I knew you were going to
Justin.
say that. It was awesome.
Oh, hey,
Hold on, Dave. I liked. Yeah, you really had me.
are we out of pop picks?
Yeah, we are. So you had me
All
on
right,
the
so
edge of my seat.
Justin Bieber is went to record in Nashville, and my good friend from high school was studying at Vanderbilt, and he was on a plane, and I didn't hear the story till after Justin Bieber's single went like super popular. But allegedly, my buddy, and this is the type of guy who wouldn't make the shit up because he's a Southsider who went to Vanderbilt. He was like super sharp, nice kid. And allegedly, Justin was sitting in first class, and my buddy was sitting in the back with next to Justin Bieber's mom. And she was like, "You have to listen to my son. We're going on to Nashville. We're from Canada. We're connecting in Chicago. You have to hear this music." And he tells his story like hand on Bible, like, was sitting next to Mrs. Bieber and met Justin. And he was like, this kid was such a little fuck. You wouldn't believe him running up and down the aisles and talking to his mom and like, what this kid? And like, it was only like a year later when he was on MTV with his first music video. And it was a black and white one where he's playing a guitar solo. He's like, dude, I heard that song a year ago. Super nice mom, alleged. Like this is an old story, 15-year long, but you say Justin Bieber and that comes to mind of him running up and down an airplane like age 13, connecting in his first flight going down to Nashville after he just signed his first deal.
Good story.
Thank you.
JT's a good pick.
I was down to him or Bruno Mars. I would love to see Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
It's Justin Timberlake.
He's one of those guys. I'm like, why'd you stop? Why'd you stop making music?
He
I know
Does
he
he
like did
have
a
to?
little acting.
No,
Oh,
he's another one. Yeah.
fucking fantastic
Yeah.
as an
He
actor.
played like
Alpha
five-
Like
Dog.
the next thing that he does, is he can only, it's like Leo. He can only do massive stuff or like really small artistic stuff.
Yeah.
Otherwise it's instantly considered a failure.
Yeah, you're right. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
I mean, he toured like 5 years ago, I think.
Did he?
He was at the UC a couple years. I remember that.
I vaguely
Yeah,
remember
remember
that.
that?
Yeah,
Such a good dancer too.
he is.
Yeah.
He's good at everything.
Full scale entertainer.
I bet you he can cook. I bet you like he can, whatever he wants to do, he can fucking do. Like he's
Alpha
just
Dog.
Yeah.
The world
Low
is
body
Yeah,
fat
it's a great movie.
percentage.
He was awesome in that movie.
Alpha Dog's awesome.
Yeah.
And I always forget his name. Who was the brother, the psychopath brother that was like the martial artist in that movie?
Dude, is he in?
Oh,
What's his
He's
real
in the
name?
Facebook movie too, right? Isn't
Yeah,
he?
he's awesome in that
Justin
movie.
Timberlake is, yes. Ben Foster.
Ben
is who you're
Foster.
thinking.
Ben Foster is one of the most underrated actors on planet, which has nothing to do
Yeah.
with anything we're talking about, but he is so
Ed.
good.
It's all good. Okay.
So this is one of our longest snake drafts ever, and I apologize that I'm
I think it is.
No, I don't
really-
think it
Sorry, we just like music.
is. Chief, you're up.
I'm going rock and roll. I'm taking a guy I've seen 3 times, and I'm taking it. I think Cons will definitely support me. I'm taking Springsteen, but I feel like he's gotten too much hate. He's gotten too much hate.
That's so rude.
He put
That's
on a 4.
so
What?
rude.
We're brothers in arms on that.
Time out. I was going to say, when it got back to me, this is on UConns to
Oh,
wake
yeah.
this
Yeah,
up.
100%.
this is the
I
4th
said
round,
Cons
man.
before the draft. I said,
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
Can I be honest? I didn't think any of you would take him. I thought I needed to get my other picks out of the way because I thought the other picks I made
Well,
were
you
ones that
fucked
were
up,
last.
Con.
You
I
I
fucked
thought
that
Bruce
up.
would last.
I've seen him in Milwaukee. I've seen him at Wrigley. I've seen him at the United Center. He was
Listen.
spectacular every time. The time I saw him in Milwaukee, it was the last stop on his tour. And so he plays for like 3-4 hours, and then he was like, you know, you could do the encore song, and then he did like 6 encores. He's like, we can't end the tour without playing, you know, this. And his whole end thought, like, he's got so many monster hits. They have with your boy Howard Stern, they're having like a sit down.
Yes. No,
HBO
it's
special.
right
It's out?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't watched it yet.
It's out right now on HBO. I watched it. It's very, very good.
It looked like, I've seen like commercials and trailers where it looks. I'm gonna have to watch that maybe this weekend. But I think he, like, in terms of like number of hits and longevity, and he puts on a fucking great show. So I'm thrilled to have Springsteen here. And Cons, I'm sorry.
Nah, it's okay. He puts on a better show than anybody. When you're that age and you're still rocking for 3.5, 4 hours, I'll give you a perfect example. 2012, I'm at his show. It's in the summer, end of summer, so there's a lot of thunderstorms in the area. So we get removed from the venue before it even starts and put in the concourse to wait out the storm. So that 10 o'clock at night, they're like, all right, we can start now. They bring everybody back into the stadium. They fill everybody. It's like 10:30 now by the time everybody gets to their seats. He comes out. And it was his birthday, and he goes, whoa, looks like I just invited 80,000 people to my birthday party. Proceeded to play until 2:30 in the morning.
That's awesome.
I love that.
It's not like, oh, it's 10:30, we're starting late. Sorry, we're going to cut this short. No, he played till 2:30 in the morning, and we were all there, and we would not leave. Better concert. He puts on a better concert than anyone I've ever seen. It's really a religious experience. I was taking him with my next pick. I was just doing some
What
shit
a
out of
fuck-
it there, I guess.
What a
No.
botch job by you, Cons.
All right. I mean,
He gets so
no,
fucking
because
sweaty on stage too. Like
They
he-
all do.
Yeah.
Billy Joel.
No,
just
listen, my rock pick, I'm going to get Springsteen kind of by default with my next rock pick.
Are you drafting the E Street Band?
No,
Ooh.
you'll see.
I think you were going to
Leo?
draft the East
Springsteen.
Yeah,
They
then I
bullied,
Springsteen.
they
is-
Yeah.
bullied you out of it.
Oh,
No.
Springsteen is great value in the 4th round.
Yeah.
I mean, it's immense value. That's what I was going to do. So.
Great.
but like a
value.
festival though, Springsteen plays for like 6 hours. Festivals, man, I gotta get moving. I gotta get the bathroom. I gotta go do some,
Hey,
how you
go to
doing?
the bathroom. You might miss a hit, but when you come back, you're going to hear another hit.
I know, but like, could you imagine? It's like, yo, we're waiting for Springsteen to come on. He's not coming on until 8, and then it's like fucking 2 o'clock in the morning. You got to get out of Grant Park. I'm just thinking festivals, Lollapalooza, but no, it's a great pick. I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm just throwing some
True.
stuff out there for Bruce Springsteen. Great pick. People love Bruce Springsteen, and I don't.
And I feel like
in the
some
way
people hate
it's
him,
like
too.
It's like guys Taylor Swift.
He's getting Nickelback a
So,
little bit.
middle-aged
Yeah.
guys Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to I'll spoil one part of that interview he does with Howard Stern. He heaped an immense amount of praise on Taylor Swift and how talented she is. So when you get the blessing from Bruce, I think that says something.
Did he take any shots at her personal life?
No, he didn't.
No, pretty respectful.
All right, it's to me. I need rock and country. I'm gonna go rock. It's tough, man. I'm really looking at a lot of classic bands, but they're all so
you got
fucking
the
old.
heaviest hitter that possible that you could take right now.
I know, and I'm not gonna do it.
You should.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna go with the band that I really like. They were in town actually this past summer, and I regret not going. But they played after Elton John, and back-to-back Soldier Field weekends is just not for me. I hit my threshold.
It's a great pick, Ed.
Yeah, I'm
it's a
gonna
great
go,
pick.
I'm gonna go with the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I've seen them. They're awesome.
Yeah.
Great pick. Pit tickets were like $1,000. We were thinking about going in the family because it was like one of those legendary moments to go see him perform live. Didn't do it. Went to Elton John before. Like you said, yeah, you can't double up on those. Interesting that Soldier Field would do Elton John and Red Hot Chili Peppers back to back. But man, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Scar
Because-
Tissue, Under the Bridge,
Dude,
Tell Me Baby.
Californication when that came out was like a decade after they were already fucking. They were awesome forever.
A
and then
decade. They were.
dropped
It was
and then
2
it
decades.
boom.
They
Was
started
it?
becoming very famous in the mid '80s. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. They've been around for 40 years now. They're awesome live. They don't stop either. And then Flea on stage, like he
Yeah,
obviously
they're
has drug
beasts.
problems.
Like I could have got a bigger fucking. Like they're huge.
Oh no, it's
No, Ed, it's a phenomenal pick, dude. They transcend like 3 fucking generations.
Yeah, I don't know if they're quite icons. Where I could have got like an icon there.
What?
They're not.
I don't know if they're like you know who I'm talking about.
There's the A-list of the A-list. They're like B+.
Okay,
list.
I'll just say it like I'm not no like if anybody here drafts Rolling Stones, you guys can fuck off.
I thought
I was
about
hoping
it.
that we could do that.
I thought about it.
You can go right ahead, and that's a terrible pick for the concept of a music festival in 2022.
I don't know that it is.
All right, maybe it isn't. I'm sorry if I offended anybody.
to ask Rear Admiral about that.
Yeah. We'll see if Cons takes him.
But it's 2022, though. My idea, sure, I guess, and historically speaking, but if you're going to try and put up like the Chili Peppers right now, the show they put up against what
And that's why I took him.
They just put out a new album like 2 months ago.
They're fucking
really?
beasts, dude.
the Stones?
No, Red Hot Chili Peppers. I saw them at the UC. I'm going to tell this story right now, and
Let's go.
I don't want to out anybody, but so in 2015, when the Cubs were playing the Mets in the playoffs, I met up with Big Cat KFC, Portnoy, and a few other people in Wrigley. Scott was there. Darling.
What are they doing? Like Make-A-Wish bringing you?
You got me, Cons. You slay me. That was awesome. I was in a conversation, and this guy overheard me. Long story short, I was off work for my sister's wedding on a Friday because I had to drive out of town. And my buddy from high school texted me and said, hey, Adele's coming to town. Tickets go on sale right now. Get tickets, and we'll resell them for a fucking mint. So I did. I got like 5th row at the UC on the floor out of nowhere. And I paid, I think it was $100 per ticket ticket I bought. So 400 total. I got 4 of them. I immediately start throwing them on Craigslist, eBay, anywhere I could sell them. And she was doing credit card entry only, so my credit card was my ticket. And it had to have the exact credit card number that you bought the tickets with, not just the name and all that shit. So long story short, I told Ticketmaster or whatever I bought them on, I lost the tickets. So I was telling this story. I was thinking I was going to make like 10 grand off these tickets. And this guy overheard me, and he's like, hey, I'm a huge Barstool fan. I run the ticketing department at the UC. Anytime you want to come see any show on earth, I can get you in, if not for free, for face value. And I'm like, fuck yeah. So we exchanged numbers. I was going to every show on earth. Bruno Mars, Red Hot Chili Peppers I saw there, John Mayer, a bunch of people. And he was siphoning the money and got popped. And
I remember when this happened.
$700,000. The FBI busted down his door. $700,000 of ticket money from the UC he was siphoning into his bank account. Obviously got caught.
Chili Peppers.
Good pick.
Thank you. Cons.
All right. This is where I was supposed to take Bruce. But here's my loophole to get Bruce at my festival. Okay? I am going to take a band that just recently, again, as I stated earlier, Madison Square Garden brings out special people. Bruce joined this band out on stage to perform with them at Madison Square Garden. Again, he doesn't lend himself to nobodies, okay? I'm taking the Killers.
Oh, good pick.
Did you not think I was going there?
No, I did not think you were going there at all. And I know Dave's going to shit on this pick, and other people will probably shit on this pick, but to me, the Killers just put out hits, so.
Yes, and not to mention,
I did not even close on my list or anything like this. But
between the Killers and Taylor Swift, they could definitely perform together. And then I'm telling you, Bruce is showing up to my festival. I'm getting Bruce by default.
I don't think Bruce is flying across to play at the Gorge with the Killers. I'm sorry.
He might.
I don't think so.
You don't know.
I don't think he's taking a 6-hour flight.
If you're banning any music or artists or songs at a wedding, you should ban Mr. Brightside.
But Chief, this is like the first time we've tied this all
song
together
in history
in a long
of
time
music.
for you to put the venue together with the pick. So I like that, though. I like that we're doing this now in the 5th. Are we in the 5th round?
We're about to be,
about to be, yeah.
Okay, so what are your? So we're at where is the Gorge?
Washington State.
All right, so we're all way West Coast. So we've got Bruce. I'm sorry.
No, he doesn't have Bruce.
The Killers. I have the Killers. I have Taylor Swift. I have Eric Church at the Gorge, and then I have my 5th pick, my rap pick, and I am taking a staple of the East Coast hip hop scene coming up through the late 80s and more so the 90s, actually. The 90s and then into the 2000s, performed with everybody, basically. I'm taking Nas.
That's a good pick, yeah. Really good pick.
Great fucking pick.
One mic.
Yeah.
The most respected guy out of that. Nobody.
If you ask any rapper who the best rapper ever is,
Nas.
a lot of them will say Nas.
Yeah.
A lot of them will say
just
Nas.
a slightly below in terms of commercial appeal than Jay-Z, but just wildly
I'd say much
talented. And
below,
yes,
but-
to your point, Dave, everybody says just unbelievable and gives him his due. He was so influential. On the
He's
East Coast
every
rap
rapper's
scene.
favorite rapper.
I thought
one of
that
those
he
guys.
like turned in the way that like Jay-Z ran into commercialization was like, yeah, I want, like this and this, where like Nas was like, man, whatever, I'm gonna do my like. Am I
Jay-Z's
wrong on that, or what?
Not
what
a
was the
businessman.
difference between
He's
him
a
and Jay-Z?
businessman.
I
Well
think
said,
the
Dave.
business,
Great lyric.
whereas like I think
true,
Jay-Z.
though.
It is true.
And this isn't a knock on Jay-Z. I think Jay-Z just became like if everybody who wasn't a rap fan still listened to Jay-Z, where there was a slightly less amount of people that would also listen to Nas, I think.
Yeah.
Whereas Nas is well respected, rightfully so, in the rap community. I don't think he crossed over as much. But I think anybody who knows anything about rap music will tell you
Yeah.
what you all have just said about Nas.
Or I don't really know all that much about rap music, but I know Nas.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
But to that whole discussion about who made it bigger commercially, the estimations of Nas's net worth is 70 million, so not bad. But it's
billionaire,
not Jay-Z's 1.3 billion.
Yeah.
So
But I thought there was something there where it was like maybe
You
not
might be right.
intentional, but where
Yeah.
Nas was like, dude, I
no,
like.
they had a beef. Him and Jay-Z had a
No,
beef
I know
at
that.
one point.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying where like Nas was not willing. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
want to.
he's
not a-
like
he's
a
not as
sellout,
commercial-
But like
yeah.
you obviously do stuff to become a billionaire, or you're willing to make certain like decisions or sacrifices to be that guy. And I thought Nas's brand was more just like, nah, dude, I'm a hard East Coast. I shouldn't say it like that because I'm so fucking I'm a hard East Coast rapper, but
flash
that's the
us the
brand,
east,
right?
the
All right.
flash us the east side symbol.
all right. I'm
All right, Nas
I'll
is the
put
pick.
it, maybe I'll put it like
Thanks,
this. Whereas like
Punish others,
Jay-Z was more than happy to accept, I'm pretty sure Jay-Z has Grammys, right?
Oh, what?
guess a lot.
Probably,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
I feel like they
you know-
give Grammys out like candy.
I mean, you can't be with Beyonce and not have Grammys.
Right. Yeah. So Jay-Z's willing to accept those Grammys, those MTV awards, the Source Awards, whereas Nas is like, I'll take the Source Awards, and you can keep that other stuff for yourself. I don't really care about that as much.
Jay-Z's got 24 Grammys, to answer your question.
There you go. So I think he just has a more mass appeal. Whereas again, it's not like Nas.
You guys are
isn't
talking too
well
much
known.
about it. It's as simple as this.
Yeah.
Like we've already talked about the commercialization
Give it
and
to us,
all
Dave.
of that.
Give it to us.
It's more about the art of rapping for Nas,
Yes.
which is fine. To each their own.
yes. That's,
Obviously,
that's
you're
well
not
said, Dave.
like
Some would say a rapper's rapper.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like John Prine. He was like number one on every fucking list I had on here, but he's obviously dead. If you ask any not today obviously, but all our parents' favorite musicians who their favorite musician is, they'd be like John Prine. He's your favorite musician's favorite musician. Nas is that to rap. A lot of times, at least.
All right, Nas. All right, it's to me. I need a country star.
I'm very interested to see what you do.
Yeah, so I'm going to say this again. I said this about all my picks, but everyone's loved all my picks. But I think I'm going to get resistance on this one because he's so.
Hold on.
What?
I just think there's someone who is so commercially mass appealing for country that hasn't been said
Yeah,
yet.
and I'm going to go there because
ahead.
I
Do
think
it.
I've been to the most country fest here. I would argue. Well, I don't know.
Maybe.
Unless if you consider Smokeout, but I was a big Thunder guy back in the day.
I've been to Thunder.
I used to
Yeah,
lace
take a
Thunder.
hey, who are you taking a shot at there, Ed?
me and the boys laced him up. Fucking, we lost so many tents at that shit, dude. It rained every fucking year.
You're living.
And I'm
like
going with
pigs.
Kenny Chesney.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
Kenny Chesney is the fest guy, and I know
Yeah.
like people are gonna be like, "How the fuck are you gonna say Eric Church to your guy and you're taking Chesney?" Because they are pretty separate. But Kenny fucks, dude. He's good vibes.
Yeah.
he is, man. And I like
That's what it is. He's the king of good vibes.
Yeah.
He became he absorbed like the parrot heads.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
kind of his thing. Like I'm the beach guy. I'm like, just gonna pop the top off and
is
Yeah,
he
No
kinda,
Shoes Nation.
Yeah. Is he kind of getting Nickelbacked in a way?
Oh yeah,
big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
He's
little
the
bit.
very definition of pop country. But I do like his songs.
They're good, dude. They're good. Like, there's nothing wrong
Summertime.
with Kenny. Summertime's awesome.
Filmed at North Central
Is
College.
he a Tennessee guy?
Yeah,
University
he loves
of
the
Tennessee
balls.
guy?
Dude.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that the Vols football team's back, like it could be a couple of years from now, and he could, hit a peak there, right?
I went and saw him.
How old
at,
is he now?
Like he could get a
50?
resurge now that the Volunteers are CFP, and now we've
Oh,
expanded.
I don't think
I don't think he
he's
ever
gone
did.
anywhere. Carl.
I don't think
Yeah, I
he
don't
ever
think he's gone
did.
anywhere.
He still he
I don't
does.
think you can
Oh,
have
I thought we were
54.
just talking about Nickelback treatment.
Oh no, like people
no,
like
no.
to chirp. Like,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like an internet hate thing
but
for
he's
him.
still huge. He could sell out.
Oh,
like
he
a
does
big
Soldier
stadium,
every
right?
year.
Yeah.
He did Soldier Field. I went and saw him.
I thought he just did Smokeout.
No,
Nah, he does
not
like
this year.
he does all
Not
the
this
big
year.
stadiums.
Yeah.
And Smokeout's pretty
Sleeveless,
big.
right? He's
Listen.
sleeveless.
Oh yeah, he hasn't
Yes.
worn a sleeve since like
so is
1993.
Arietta's always sleeveless too.
Yeah.
I got to put him in. We should interview him on. That'd be
Yeah.
funny. But yeah, sleeveless guys. That's a brand. That's it. That you got to be confident.
Yeah.
Is that who you're referring
Yeah.
to, Cons?
That was exactly what I
Okay,
was
yeah,
referring to.
and it
Yeah.
was. I'm thrilled to get
value
him
in the fifth round.
Thrilled to get him in the
Yeah.
5th round. He's such a fucking fest guy, dude.
Yep.
And he's great in concert. He's one
I
of those
saw him at
guys.
Soldier.
He's one of those guys that has
Fell
a
off the balcony.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He's one of those
Yeah.
guys that has a catalog that could just bang and rip
Yep.
through them. Boys of Fall, you always get a little nostalgic.
That's the.
It's also a good
That
documentary.
was filmed in my
You ever
locker
seen that?
room.
no, I never have actually.
Oh, Boys of Fall is a documentary. It's on like
It was filmed in his locker room.
well, it's
At North
because
Central,
they
yeah.
They played them.
well, no, it was basically it's an awesome documentary.
it
It's
was-
all about like high school football.
It was
Yeah.
Sean
all
Payton,
around the country.
Sean Payton went to Naperville Central High School, and when they were filming the Boys of Fall, and in the
What
beginning
is that
of
a
the music,
documentary?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
in the beginning of the music
What's it on?
video. What?
Keep going.
In the beginning of the
Sorry.
music video,
Go ahead.
he's like giving a pump up speech. He's like, "Hey, you're under the lights, whatever," and that's North Central's locker room.
Damn,
It was filmed when I was there.
sick. So yeah,
It
Kenny.
was a big deal.
Kenny's great. Kenny's great.
I will
I'm
say
happy.
this.
I'm happy you think
Is he in
that because
movies?
I didn't know if
What
you
movies?
like. I know who you're going to take next, or at least I'm pretty confident. But I didn't know if you've gone too far of the way of like the hardcore country,
Well,
or
yeah.
you've like turned into like a hater.
No, I'm not
So
a
I'm-
hater.
I'm
There,
happy
there is
you're-
like a guy that I hate that I think. I'll just say it. It's Luke Bryan.
Oh, I like Luke Bryan.
Why?
too.
I think that
Oh, that's
he.
like Dante's buddy, pal. So
Oh, I'll
fucking-
tell
you might
Dante
wanna walk
personally that
one.
I nope.
I'm
I'm
pretty
not
sure he's
walking
like
it back.
flown Dante to
Yeah.
like
I
private
love Luke
events.
Bryan too.
I'm sure he's the nicest
me
guy in the
too.
world, but I think his music stinks.
I think he's got great songs.
I hate.
Sorry, you're
like,
up though. You can
hate
pick.
it. So I think you thought I was gonna take. Do you have country yet?
I don't. I got mine written in already.
Okay, I'm taking Sturgill. So I was between him and
Yeah.
another guy, and Sturgill to me is like he's probably my favorite artist maybe ever, and I've seen him in concert 3 times now, and a unique guy who he's weird. Like he was in the Navy, he worked on railroads, and then he's just at like 38 years old or something. His wife's like, you're a pretty good musician. Why don't you give it a shot, like a real shot? And then that's where he got started.
I feel like that's 90% of
At
country
38?
songs.
At
It's
30.
like working on rails, and so he's got.
But he
doing
doesn't
drawing
really
from life
sing about that. He
experiences.
sings, but he doesn't sing about that. Like he talks
know
about
enough
it
about him. I
in
know you love
interviews.
him.
But he will talk like he's done a whole song about doing psychedelics, and he does like all these like, and then he did like a hardcore like kind of rock album, almost like a heavy metal type of album. Like he can do all sorts of different things, and he's got one of those voices that just saw logs. Man.
Yeah.
Like he's got like a very unique sound. And another guy who won't like from a commercial standpoint, like he's just like fuck it, like I'm not.
Yeah, he's your guy.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
It sounds like
He's
he
your guy.
makes
Yeah.
makes it a point to.
Respected.
Yeah,
We'll
Sturgill.
listen to him on the way down to Hunt this weekend.
Let's do that.
'cause I
I
would
think
like
you'd
to
enjoy him.
He,
dip my
as
toes.
compared to like Kenny Chesney, who's going to go commercial, so he can have the 3 yachts. He's like content to just like pay for what he needs and keep on making good
He's
music.
still making millions of dollars.
He made
No
he-
shit,
Yeah,
but you get the comparison.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I would say that people like Sturgill, and there's a few others like it, 15 years ago, have no shot at making it. Like they don't make it without streaming and YouTube and the internet, because he's never been on a country music station ever, because
So-
like he's just outside of like the Luke Bryan fucking bubble. that
Yeah.
is.
I brought this up on Zero Block 30. Go check it out.
because of Kate.
you guys
and
think-
Chaps, not because of you?
whatever. You know what? I don't even want to deal with your existence right now. Do you guys ever think about how now with like streaming, how readily available music is? It's exciting that you can discover new music all the time, but to me, it's almost like overwhelming because
I would agree.
know
Too
there's
much.
so much good music out there that I'll probably never hear that I know I would love, and it's just never gonna come across my Spotify.
Because it used to be like
There are 100,000 songs a day uploaded to Spotify. Come on, guys.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
But to your point, there are those songs out there that could just be fucking outstanding songs.
Yeah.
That you don't hear because it's so watered down now.
But I don't. Yeah, but cons. I think part of that is it kind of cuts both ways. Where it's like because there's so much, and I'm like, well, I'm just gonna listen to what I know I like, kind of thing.
right.
And it's almost like it's overwhelming. So you just stick with what you know. But I put together a playlist and I blogged it of like my type of country music that Sturgill definitely fits into that. And
Yeah, I know
I got
that playlist. It's a playlist.
so many recommendations of people that fit that kind of category that I didn't know about. Where I'm like, fuck, like this is awesome. So it's like again, like the internet, like can kind and
Definitely.
people can kind of
Yeah, it
like
can go both
guide you.
ways.
Yeah.
Like once a week, I'll throw out a tweet saying, "What are we jamming out to today?" or whatever, and I'll get inundated with like 20 bands or artists I'd never heard of, and I'll look at their Spotify plays because it's all publicly available. It'll be like 30,000, which is nothing in the grand scheme of things, and I'm like, "Holy shit, this is awesome music! Awesome
Yeah.
music!"
And I think that that has existed. If you go back decades, though. Like if you go back to the 80s and the 90s or whatever, the 70s and stuff, like there's still people making that music. It's just the discoverability. Like, dude, there's guys sitting
That's
in their
my
fucking
point.
basements. There's guys sitting
No,
in their
you're right,
garage. There's
Carl.
guys playing small shows, guys trying to be people. And there's probably so much phenomenal music that we'll never know even existed because
100%.
it didn't
but
catch radio or it didn't catch this and that. So I think it's all different. But
Yeah.
now, at least at this case, because there's streaming and because there's technology available, I do think that like broader inspires people to like put their
Have
stuff
you-
out there.
But that's
you
where my
guys,
anxiety lies, is knowing it's so readily available.
Yeah.
Back in the 70s and 80s, it was all existent, but it's like, well, whatever. How am I ever going to discover that band in Des Moines, Iowa?
Mm-hmm.
Now I know it's all right there. It's a click away. And that's where it's like, Jesus, there's not enough time in my life
Yeah.
to discover all the music I would really like.
Have you guys ever seen the documentary Searching for Sugar Man?
Yes.
Okay, like that's kind of
Perfect example.
Yeah, to Carl, to your point, like this guy was like got all the backing from all the record labels. He cut 2 albums in the United States. He's like a Mexican guy from Detroit, and it just never clicked in America. It just didn't click, and somehow, like literally, one copy of his album made its way to South Africa, and that was when South Africa became like a closed society. So they weren't like getting inundated with our music, but they like this. It became like a true grassroots thing, and this guy became like a mega star in South Africa, unbeknownst to him. Totally like had no idea.
Yeah.
And he's working like so he like flamed out of music.
That sounds
and
sick.
he was it's an awesome document. We should do a dog walk on it because it's that good.
I want to see
And
this
it's
now.
really
This
good.
sounds awesome.
And he like is working like random construction jobs and things like that. And then there's like a radio DJ in South Africa, and there's all kinds of rumors like, oh, he lit himself on fire on stage, and he did like killed
is
himself. It's called Searching for Sugar Man. And I forget his actual real name, but Sugar Man was like the name of the album and one of the songs. And then they so this guy like now that South Africa is in like the early 2000s is like back and being a part of the world again. He starts going through like this project to find Sugar Man, and he finally.
Well, let's let people watch it if they want to
Okay,
watch it.
fine.
Steven
Yeah.
Right?
Seagerman, never heard of him.
Yeah,
That's
Yep.
interesting.
yeah,
I recommend.
it's awesome.
Yeah, this is on the to-do list. This sounds right up my alley.
All right, Carl. I think you need a rock, right?
Yeah, I've been saving my rock for the 5th round. I just want to say before I make this pick, I've thoroughly enjoyed this draft. This has been a great
Yeah, it
draft
has.
from the
It has been a
perspective
good
of like personal stories and art. Maybe not so much arguing and stuff, but I do want to say that out loud, not just to you guys, to the audience. I've thoroughly enjoyed this draft, and I personally have needed this. Coming off a bad illness, been out of the office. I was hoping that we'd put a good one together today for the boys as we get into December, which to me is just a great month for content and putting shows out there. So thoroughly enjoyed this one. So that my pick is sponsored by the Good Vibes in the Room right now. And I'm taking Rage Against the Machine as my rock. Saw him this summer. It was an amazing
I'm so jealous
man.
you got to go to that.
Dude, I'm so lucky. I'm so fucking lucky. And I didn't know shit about Rage Against. I mean, I knew a lot about Rage Against the Machine, a little bit. Shit. I'm
Tom
taking
Morello's
Rage Against
from
the
here.
Machine. Here. I had the fucking.
Oh.
Where is it?
You want to talk
Sick
about
album cover.
Tom Morello? Tom Morello often comes on stage with Springsteen and the E Street Band to play the Ghost of Tom Joad, and when he gets going on that guitar, Tom Morello, that is, it's just so impressive.
He's an all-time
It really
great
is.
guitarist. He's a great follow on
Yes.
Instagram. He fucks with his grandma all the time. She's in on the joke, obviously, but like he'll be sitting there in like his studio and his grandma will be taking a nap. He'll crank up the amp and just like fucking let loose on a solo to wake her up. It's pretty funny. He's from Libertyville. Not a lot of people talk about that.
Tom Morello to me is a guy who like he went to Harvard. He's obviously very educated. His mom, Libertyville. His dad is a founding member from the Black Panthers, and wanted to be like an activist and wanted to spend his time doing like social change. Was also this extremely gifted musician, percussionist originally, and then moved over to the guitar when he was a teenager. So a lot of his guitar playing techniques are very unique and considered alternative, but it's him taking his like percussion understanding and applying it to guitar. And then in his mind, it was like, well, I want to like share this message and I want to be this activist. I want to be this guy, get the shit out there. And like, well, the best way for me to do that is music. And he's just an amazing artist, regardless of whether or not you fucking agree with any of their stuff or not. Like the fact that guy's done that is incredible. Zach De La Russa, the whole
He's awesome.
crew's sick. Now, I will say this. I did not know that much about Rage Against the Machine in depth until my older brother was like, hey, they're on tour and I want to go see him. And I was like, yeah, I'll go see him with you. And he's like, the tickets are going to be expensive. I want to go to the Pit. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Now this is an older brother who's like a little bit more mild, significantly more mild. And he was like, this is very important to me. Like, I need somebody to go to this concert with me. Do you want to go? And I'm like, yeah, for sure. And the oldest brother couldn't go. So it was just me and Kevin. And so we like blocked it off, and he was very deliberate about like, we have to go to this concert. I had no idea until like a couple days before that they never, I didn't know shit. I just knew we grew up in a house where like my brothers played the guitar and they loved Rage Against the Machine. I wasn't listening to fucking music. They haven't been on tour in like 15 years. They're not going to go on tour again. I had no clue. So we're like going into this thing. So it's like a couple days before, it's like doing your research. And that's when I got really like into trying to like figure out like, all right, what the fuck am I getting myself into? We go to the Pit. We're in the 50th row. They finish. It was like Run in the Jewels or some kind of opener, and they shut the lights down. And my brother, like I said, is a very mild-mannered guy. And he's like, are you ready? And I was like, ready for what?
We're moshing.
And he's like, the show's about to start. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, grab my arm. And I grab it, and we just fucking barrel through the first 50 rows. I've told you guys this story personally. I probably told this story before on Redline. Maybe I've told on Dog Walk 1,000 times already. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but we rush up to the third row. The lights come on. They play Bomb Track. I did a ton of shrooms earlier. I just had like this amazing experience with my brother, moshing with Rage Against the Machine. And I know a lot of people who don't give a fuck about this band, listen to this, whatever. I'm going long-winded. The people who do know what I'm talking about, have listened to this band, have experienced it, know what I'm saying. It's just like a crazy, crazy good experience. And I'm very lucky to have experienced that. Rage Against the Machine, the fifth round. I'll shut the fuck up
Now, on that note, because I have a similar experience, having never been to a concert like that from that genre, that's like, do I want to go that? That's loud. That's like a bunch of weirdos like banging heads. Aren't you glad you did? Because I've said that same thing about Slipknot on this show 1,000 times now. Never in a million years did I think I'd find myself at a Slipknot concert until I found myself at a Slipknot concert, and they were fucking awesome live.
It's just
Awesome
something
live.
about live music, honestly. It doesn't have to be a band that you're in love with. Something about being in a room with live music, especially a massive outdoor venue or a venue like the Garden, and it's just transformative.
Well, Chief, remember when I came back and I was telling you guys, I'm like, dude, it was crazy. I was doing this and that, and we get in the mosh pit, and it's all these big bald guys with beards. You're like, yeah, so it's just a bunch of guys like you. Yeah, maybe older guys like that. All right, so when the lights go on afterwards and the show's over, I was like, what do I wear to a Rage Against the Machine concert if we're going to a mosh pit? And my brother was like, just wear like, gym shorts and like a t-shirt or something and your fanny pack. Like, don't worry about what you're wearing. And when you get out there, it was like my shirt got ripped off. So I was just like shirtless, and I'm not a guy who wants to be walking around shirtless. And so I'm just like shirtless in the United Center, and the lights go on and all the shit's on. The show's over. And you kind of see like all the guys you've been moshing with and pushing with and all this stuff. And you're looking at each other and like everybody else is kind of shirtless. And you're like, it was like almost like that jersey swap vibe of like, dude, great game out there. Great mosh. Like, you're a good dude. Like, what are you going back to Schaumburg? Like, yeah, no, I'm a Roscoe Village guy. Like, you're walking out gate 6 together at the United Center. Just like,
good stuff.
Dude, what, like, yeah, maybe I'll see you guys at Lala. Like, it's one of those, it was super awkward, but kind of fun. And
the blood's
and
already, the blood's starting to dry a little bit.
Yeah. And I'll say I waited this whole draft to
guys
talk about my Rage Against the Machine concert experience because it was that meaningful to me. Probably like the best.
You guys go to the Indianapolis show?
Yeah, to this day, like the best, not just music, like the best.
Those
event
guys are the
I've been
biggest
to.
weirdos on earth.
What, that travel?
Sorry,
like
quick
groupies
tangent.
that aren't groupies.
Anytime I think of mosh pitting, I think of Adam Sandler. What the hell happened to me, the goat, when he's talking about, oh, you're gonna go to mosh pitting.
Dude, did you just pull the goat?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're going to beat the shit out of me, Mr. Goatman.
Oh, fucking whiz that thing. You're a regular Starbuck.
And then you hear the football.
Yeah.
Fuck me in the goat ass.
White Sox Dave, Mr. Irrelevant, country guy.
Country, I'm going with Brad Paisley. Love Brad Paisley.
Really?
Wow.
Wow, he's just
On the guitar, he's like a top 5 guitarist on the planet.
That people always say that, and I knew you were going to take him because that's a fact. But yeah, I don't. He's another guy. I'm just not like big fan.
He's a guy.
He's as pop country as it gets, though. But
Mud on the Tires is a good song, and the rest of it is.
He's a guy that I loved in like high school and shit. I feel like he's kind of fallen off a cliff a little bit.
probably made $1 billion off the
I don't know,
Affleck
Chief. I feel
commercial.
like
he's a guy I saw at Country Thunder way back in the day.
I mean, he's got some bangers
He's like
back in
5'2",
like
isn't
the.
he? I'm drafting a bunch of shorts.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
don't remember he had like he had a lot of hits back.
He
in
did.
the
Oh yeah,
2000s.
he Ticks,
Yep.
alcohol.
The
huge
fishing
ones.
song. But yeah, he's not my
Alcohol.
Mud. I like that Mud on
Choose
the Tire
Everything.
song. Yeah,
Online.
Yeah.
They had a ton of them.
yeah.
What type of crowd does he pull?
Bucks,
Moms.
girls.
This
Yeah,
is what
mostly milfs,
I was
right?
going to say about Kenny Chesney. I have never seen a hotter collection of women in my life than at a Kenny Chesney concert.
That's a fact.
Every
That
single
should have
fucking
been
chick was a
considered
perfect
throughout
10.
the conversation as the quality of, like,
through the crowd.
yeah, like we got a ton of milfs walking around with bolt-ons. Okay, Brad Paisley plays a little bit more than maybe
On
a
the
Garth
note
Brooks
of,
with some of the sag years.
and rest in peace to Christine McVie. Now that we're talking music, I saw them, Fleetwood Mac, that is, twice on a tour, I think it was 2018, and actually Dante and I were just talking about this because he was there that night, but we weren't together. It was 99% older couples, like in their 50s, and they were all dressed like Stevie Nicks with like the long drapey stuff and.
Yeah.
But it's funny the kind of clientele that each artist, draws. Like Slipknot's different from like Kenny Chesney was like perfect 10 models everywhere. And I don't know, just funny.
Yeah, but you know what? Some people think those Slipknot people are great looking too. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
That is very true. That's why there's at least one person out
That's
there.
why there's hope for you, Dave.
I was about to say the same for you until you stole my
Yeah,
He's already
I beat you
married.
to it because I got a quicker brain there, champ.
No. You
I'm
just
going to
cut me
run
off.
through it. We'll do some honorable mentions. We'll get out of here. Con Taylor Swift, The Gorge, Eric Church, The Killers, Nas, Eddie, Eminem, Madison Square Garden, Lady Gaga, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Kenny Chesney, Chief Red Rocks, Jay-Z, Elton John, Bruce Springsteen, Sergio Simpson, Carl Garth Brooks, Snoop Dogg, Wrigley Field, Justin Timberlake, Rage Against the Machine, White Sox Dave, Alpine Valley, Dead and Company, Bruno Mars, Wu-Tang Clan, Brad Paisley. I mean, there's
Those
so
are all
many.
really good. The
Yeah.
only one that didn't get mentioned as a pick, but we mentioned it 86 times, that nobody took Dave Matthews. He's like the
Yeah,
ultimate
yeah.
festival
Doesn't
guy.
fit, man. He doesn't fit in any of these categories. And him and
You wouldn't
Fish.
make him rock?
He's kind of.
No, but I wouldn't. To me, it's like
He's
Dave
like a
is Dave.
symphony.
I want to go see Dave on my own and just like it's like a fit. Like I wouldn't want to see
Yeah.
Fish in a festival. I just want to go see Fish on their own.
Yeah.
But like Grateful Dead's not rock and roll, but it's like that's the gotta be what it would fall under if anything. Like a broad, you know.
I think they're more deserving than Fish, but they're kind of in that same. But they do deserve. That's how I was going. They're great. They're great. You have to talk about them. Like talking about John Mayer playing with the Grateful Dead is awesome. What about Adam Lambert with Queen? Has anybody seen that or
No.
talked about that?
I
or
heard it sucks.
anything?
And
Okay.
like, why would you?
Was that
You
at
can't-
UC recently or?
Speaking of Queen, I did have Wembley on my thing.
I had Wembley on.
Oh,
mine.
Wembley,
Yeah.
Glastonbury as well.
I've been to
think it's a
Wembley.
big
It was cool.
Really.
But it was like one of those things where it's like I can't even.
Imagine.
Yeah, as a concert
Yeah.
venue, but like I know it's huge concert venue, but like that. Yeah,
That's bigger than Jerry's World, right? Isn't
No,
it like 100?
no chance.
Oh, never mind.
Fenway was cool and it was like a cool idea. I saw Zach Brown there.
They
All
do
right,
the
right,
same
so-
thing. at
so
Wrigley, though.
so that
I
was
saw
the
Zach
one.
Brown in 2015 with my wife, but then like I thought
Zach Brown
Fenway-
would have been a good pick.
I saw
it
Zach
was,
Brown
it was cool,
open for
but
Dave
like it
Matthews
was so
at Alpine
dude,
Valley.
It's a
12
tough
years
place
ago.
to watch a baseball game. It's so small, and the angles you were like angled toward home plate, but then they were in center field, so it was that was kind of weird, but it was cool to be around there.
Yeah.
But Wrigley Field I thought is still a better experience. It's easier to walk around and go to bars.
I
afterwards.
love Zach Brown, but that was my version of your Eric Church story.
Really?
Yeah.
You just didn't love him.
Were you
That
thinking
wasn't
Foo
good- wasn't
Fighters
good
for
live.
rock?
There's too many people on stage. There's like 40 people on stage with Zach Brown.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah,
You
it's
took
a lot.
Chili Peppers. I thought you were gonna go Foo Fighters.
No. I was thinking old school. I really like Aerosmith.
Ooh, good.
Dante, Tom, and I saw
I gotta
Guns
piss.
last summer, and they were
go take
fucking awesome. That's why. Like, there's so many warts about Chicago, but summertime Chicago, fucking, it's the best thing on earth. And Wrigley Field concerts, like, I can't wait for them again.
Yeah.
Have you been to Northerly Island?
I
Dave?
have. I went to Lake Shake 2019. It would have been.
So that's I think that deserves more credit. Obviously, national podcast, but a lot of
It's
Chicago guys
great,
listen to this. So like
but
we have to say,
you gotta deal with getting to
it's
Soldier
so hard
Field.
to get there.
Exactly.
But once you're there and you kind of see the backdrop, depending on like you don't want to
did I
go there
see
for
there?
like a fucking ABBA concert, but you know if you can
Yeah.
go catch somebody cool there like this.
I've seen Slightly Stupid
Little
there.
Dispatch.
Ooh. Like it.
You know, he's not in the room anymore, but Chief's I think it's his uncle or cousin, one of the two, is like buddy, like boys with Chad Stokes,
Will
Who is that?
Dispatch's lead singer.
Sorry, Ed.
No, well, you're good. Well, obviously, Blind Spot will probably get shit for being so old school on rap and whatnot. You know, like
Yeah, but that's just who we are.
Yeah.
We're not going to come out with all the new rap stuff. I don't listen to that. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
like-
Can we like drop a couple names
Yeah,
of people
like
who
I know
should
Ken-
have said or
Kendrick
something?
Lamar, Drake. Like I know
Drake.
those guys.
I
are, like,
couldn't give a
super
flying
popular.
fuck less to
Future.
see any of
But
those.
why would
Future.
we go? Why would I want to see a Drake concert over a Snoop? And why could a young person convince me that Drake would be
The
a
Weeknd, like
cooler guy than
those guys
Weeknd
are
canceled
huge.
the fucking show because of his vocal cords?
I know,
Next
but I'm just
Wednesday,
saying.
I am interviewing NLE Choppa for my music show on the guest list.
From Migos.
You know who he is?
No.
I don't
Nope.
either. But they emailed me. They're like, "Hey, can we get him on?" I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." Looked him up. 5 million Instagram followers. He's a massive fucking rapper right now.
And
I
then my
don't know
last
either.
three, pop. Well, we said Bieber, and then I got to give a shout out to Rihanna. I love Rihanna.
Okay.
She scares me.
She's awesome.
I feel like she would just fucking. If she didn't like me, she would just take me out.
Dave. I'm gonna invoke a little Spags rule here. I think Rihanna's a great pick. Ed, what else you got?
Good job, Carl. Mr. Worldwide, great festival guy.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Naperville Rib Fest.
Yes.
Um,
yes. Yes.
Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah.
I mean, you got it. Jimmy
Yeah.
Buffett would be
Dave
great to
goes
go
from
to.
ripping on Rihanna to doubling down on Jimmy Buffett.
I wasn't ripping on Rihanna. She just scares me on a human level. I feel like if I like said something to piss her off, she would have me
Right.
taken out and just like, no, get rid
Portnoy's
of
in the
him.
99.9
Yeah.
percentile, I think, on Spotify rap for Jimmy
There's so
Buffett.
many country, Luke Combs. There's so many country. We got it.
Yeah.
All right. We'll wrap it.
Stapleton.
Yeah, Stapleton.
But all right,
She could have
I'll
saw
leave with
Stapleton.
this. I'll leave with this. Number one, thank you for having me. I always love coming on the draft, and I would go to any one of the festivals that we listed out, except probably Dave's, but everybody else's. I would go to all of theirs.
Name
So
one
thank you
pick
guys
without
very
looking
much.
of who I drafted. You couldn't. That's right. You're just making shit up. Okay. See you guys next week. Connor, it's always a pleasure. I got to go see the fray right now.
Anything, Cons, to that?
Well, conscious again.
No.
I want to circle back and just say
What'd you say?
Ahead of time.
didn't say
Thank you very
anything.
much for hosting me and my dad for his 70th birthday.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
For Army Navy, and you're just a stand-up guy, man. I mean, I don't know if people give you enough credit
Yeah.
for it, but you're a stand-up guy.
Thank you.
All
Beat
right.
Navy.
All right, everybody. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll be back tomorrow. We will see you then.